Hi, everybody. Welcome to FNS Wrestling Podcast, episode 242. It is March 7th. I'm your host. My son, Jack, across from me is the co-host. We're back to talk about another week of professional wrestling after we banter about whatever we want. There's timestamps. You can navigate to any section you like. We will be discussing AEW Dynamite. We always do. NXT. We always do. Raw. Almost always. We're going to review Elimination Chamber off the top. I would say there was some notable stuff happen there, obviously. And we're going to wrap it up by previewing, I think, AEW Revolution. So this will be published on March 8th, if anything exciting happened on that morning.
We'll be doing our predictions without... I doubt there's going to be any developments on Collision, but...
Yeah, unless there are, we won't know for sure. But anyways,
probably we'll get some pre-show crap at it. I don't know.
Yeah, probably true. So... I don't know. Starting out to talk about this week, we are about to start a week off of work for me and school for you, so that's pretty exciting. So I'm going to say we are going to get to our worst of sometime in the week coming up, right? I think.
I feel like now's the time.
Because you're done and you're just waiting on me to get done, right? So I think I can handle that. I've got it mostly done, so we'll do that. That's always a fun episode to see what we disliked about 2024 the most. Chris Jericho will be mentioned quite a bit, not to spoil anything. What else did we want to discuss today? Anything you were saying, like you wanted to talk about
my new game,
your 2K25. So because you're a bright boy, you set your Xbox to...
Yeah, because of the way they release it, it's like some regional things. So basically, it'll be midnight everywhere. And so last year I figured out that I can just change my Xbox's location to somewhere else, and New Zealand has the farthest time difference of 18 hours.
Oh, 18, nice.
So instead of playing it at midnight this morning, I guess it would have been.
Yeah.
I played it at 6 a.m. yesterday.
And you who never set an alarm for anything in your life, set an alarm to get up and do that.
I was up within 10 minutes.
Because I heard you go to the washroom, I guess. Yeah, I heard the washroom door, and then I figured, he actually got up to play.
I played
Thoughts
for
on
3 hours and I went to school. It's good. Like, most of the gameplay is pretty similar. It's just now I think they added back chain wrestling. I tried underground matches, which I thought was kind of fun. They got new backstage brawl arenas. I was telling you the NXT parking lot's in there, but my favorite is the archive, like the prop archive.
That does sound fun.
It's really cool because you can knock over shelves with a bunch of weapons. There's you can throw someone in the barbershop window.
Yep.
There's a WrestleMania ring without ropes, basically underground in like a warehouse.
You can throw someone through the barbershop window. I wonder if that might come up later today. I'll just throw that out there now.
Okay.
You don't know what I'm talking about.
But. So that was pretty cool. The first thing I did was play as Pete Dunne.
Of course.
Because that's what I was waiting for.
Because he's not Butch.
Yeah, and I just I don't like the download versions, and now he's got his music. So I was concerned because I was telling you he's got his render image for him and Bate are both their New Catch versions. New Catch is a default team in the game, so it's a bit outdated.
Yeah, already.
They have their New Catch gear.
Nice.
But Dunn has his solo theme in Tron, so I'll be able to just turn him solo eventually. Nice. Apparently, there's issues with the creation suite. I don't know, because I honestly, last night I started getting Pete Dunne solo gear, but I didn't finish it because apparently face textures get lost, and I did notice his beard looked weird. So maybe I'll wait until they patch stuff to make stuff, because I'm just running a universe with the WWE stuff for now, because I don't want to have to make my own arenas and belts yet.
Yeah, until you're played enough that you're
gets tedious.
Yeah, it would be tedious.
And I played a bunch of Showcase already.
Nice. So you're enjoying it.
Yeah, it's good.
That's good.
Basically the same thing, but better.
Nice.
And I haven't tried a lot of the new people yet. I did play Sean Spears because his entrance is pretty cool.
That's crazy. That's where you start. I mean, that's a timely reference too.
It's because he's got the laser lights around him. He's sitting on the chair. It's that cool entrance he does.
Remember I said last week, I think I felt like there was a chance he won the title.
I need to try Ethan Page still. I feel like Javon will be really fun.
He will be fun. That's one I would try.
That's a really cool one. I'm trying to think of.
Are the new women in NXT in it?
Julia? I'll talk about that later.
Oh, okay.
All right. But Jada Parker's new.
Nice.
I was telling you it's weird that OTM's not in there at all. I feel like would have been a good inclusion, but I haven't tried a ton of the new people yet, but I've been messing around with certain stuff.
That's cool. Putting some hours in, and you got a week off to really grind it, right?
Exactly.
So that'll be fun. I've played pickleball 2 days in a row. That's been fun. New paddles mom got me are awesome. She had a birthday.
That is true.
Just passed. You didn't. You were had to get some stuff done, so we went out for a nice Korean barbecue lunch, which you don't really care about anyway.
What did I have to do that day? I don't even remember.
You had science or something last period.
Oh, right, because
not science. You don't have science right now.
school. I thought you meant after school. It's like, I
No,
don't think I did anything after
was
school that day.
So the figures you've got out on the table because you're trying to do timely stuff. We've got what?
Mox.
It's our Revolution preview.
And then I got I randomly at Walmart. It was my random Walmart trip on Sunday to get Mom's
Oh
card
right,
number.
you got a cool
I
Balor.
found Ultimate Edition Finn Balor, which is cool. They also had Solo. I was telling you I was disappointed they didn't have Mountain Dew Bray Wyatt,
No,
which
that
would have
is-
been the cop. But
Everything about that
Balor's
was
nice.
disappointing.
I would have gladly bought that over Finn Balor.
And what are you wearing?
RIP.
What shirt are you wearing today?
The Triclops.
Oh, nice
Death
Death Triangle. And I went with little Brody Lee today.
I mean, it was your fault.
It was my
It's the least you can do.
rest in peace, Brody Lee. It was my fault.
It was your fault.
I'm
See,
sorry.
You're the opposite of Snitsky. We should get you a shirt that says it
It
is your
my
fault.
It is.
You're the
I
anti-Snitsky.
am a murderer,
Yeah.
essentially.
And if you're anti-Snitsky, that means you should be a good wrestler, right?
I guess so. Yes. I didn't hate Snitsky, but yeah, he wasn't good.
The thing I found crazy is when they had the gimmick where they purposely made him look grotesque, and he's like
Yeah.
his face is all weird, and like they yellowed his teeth. Like that's such a dick move to give him as a gimmick. Like,
Yeah.
because I know Gangrel had his teeth changed, but wasn't that like his choice?
He's
though?
the gothic lifestyle. They always said that. Yeah.
Right, but that's at least his choice. Or I know
Lars Sullivan was an odd-looking fellow too.
Yeah,
he's
but
redacted
not
at this point.
not
probably.
on purpose though. Like
No,
not
that's
like
just him.
they're trying to make him look atrocious or anything.
No.
Not that he looks atrocious. It's just what I mean. And one of my favorite stories is that Dustin Rhodes wanted to get implants when he was Goldust.
Yeah, he was willing apparently.
If he still had that now, dude, oh, that'd be so funny.
So funny. I don't know. I guess we should move into wrestling because we got a lot to cover, and it's gonna get late. And your brother has a couple games tomorrow, so let's get into talking about wrestling. The first segment every week, you know what it is. It's taking a look at some news and rumors. Taking a look at the ratings, NXT averaged 698 viewers, down 13% from last week, a 0.15 in the key demographic, down 21. The demos took a beating this week. Competition from, I'm sure you were tuned in, the American Presidential Address to Congress.
Yeah, that means
Amazing.
so much to me. I saw Raw either like plateaued or hit a low this week, I think, but I couldn't like find.
Oh yeah, I know
interesting
they
information.
since the first couple weeks it has not been great.
Mm.
And I think it's now up to them to report the rating, so I was wondering if they were just going to stop doing it at some point. Dynamite.
I can see that happening, especially if it was the redacted era.
Yes, it would be like
100%.
only if we're this much. Well, he would just lie too. He would just be like literally everyone in the world watched it this week.
Yeah, I wonder what's to stop them from lying about it.
Nothing, probably. 600,000 viewers for Dynamite, up 0.3%, so pretty much the same. But the demo got crushed, 0.13, down 27.8%. The lowest rating that show, the show has done in that category on a Wednesday night. The only lower was when I think they moved to a Tuesday. So, not sure why, but they just did not have a good demo rating. Viewers pretty much the same. That key demographic age range not tuning in for some reason. I don't know why.
Interesting.
Yeah, what do you got?
The main thing I had was talking about the 2K DLC because they announced that just before it came out.
And that's when I would go back to my question. Do we have Julia? Do we have Vicaire?
First pack is them.
Do we have Zarya?
No.
No Zarya.
So they're in the first one. It's the new wave pack, which will
Okay.
be in May, so it's not too long, I guess. It's them, Machine Guns, and a special celebrity guest to be announced. They put
Travis
out some
Scott.
teasers, and so like the expectation is maybe ISO Speed or KSI because they wore the Prime bottle. It's like
Cool.
I don't even care because there's not one celebrity guest you could put in that I would care about.
Same.
The only celebrity
I
that
have a fear you've got my anti-celebrity trait. Basically,
Yeah.
it's passed on
well,
to
and
you.
traditional wrestlers like when Logan Paul's DLC, that made sense because he's actually wrestling. And he's
Yeah.
like, I'm more than happy. Like if Logan Paul wasn't like going full time, whenever like he wasn't already here for a while, I would gladly take Logan Paul's DLC.
Yeah.
Because that makes sense, but I don't want any of that.
Even though he's a dirtbag.
Yeah. The next pack is probably the weirdest one to me. It's the Duncan Destruction pack. It's Abyss,
Sorry,
which is crazy.
Duncan Destruction?
Dunk and Destruction.
Oh, Dunk and Destruction.
So the
Okay.
first person's
Abyss,
Abyss, which is kind of
sure.
crazy. Because I guess he's worked backstage there for a while, and now with the
Yeah,
TNA agreement,
he
they
did.
could use like the license for him, right?
Did you ever know of the gimmick where he played his own brother
Yeah.
and was a lawyer?
Joseph Parks or whatever?
That was like blew my mind because he basically played like a mankind kind of monster character, and then
And
it was
then
like,
he's
no,
like
he
this
can actually act and
sheepish guy.
do
Yeah,
really
yeah.
well. Anyways,
So it's Abyss, Great Khali. Woo.
okay.
and 3 NBA people to be announced.
Oh, that's why it's
Why?
the dunk. That's the dunk part. I'm like,
Why?
where's the dunk part with Abyss and Kali?
But why? This is worse than celebrities because, like,
Crossover.
at least the celebrities, it's going to be people who have appeared on television.
So is it current NBA players?
No idea.
But you love sports, so I don't understand how you don't know.
The only one that makes sense...
Are we going like Rodman, Malone, and...
Shaq, I would say.
Shaq.
Well, Shaq because...
But he was only AEW, wasn't he?
No, he was in the Andre Battle Royal
right.
on my first Mania. Remember they teased the whole thing with Big Show and it never happened?
That's right.
Then Rodman and Malone would actually make sense. If it's that, I will cut them a bit of slack.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, this kind of feels like the Pat McAfee pack we got last year, which was a total waste of time and I hated it. Then we got the Fearless pack, which has Bull Nakano, which is kind of interesting. Jordan Grace, which is cool. New Jack, which is surprising.
Wonder where the Fearless name comes from.
Penta.
Oh, okay. That makes sense then.
Which I'm happy Penta's in there, and then celebrity guest.
Gonna have to add Phoenix too at some point.
He's gonna be way too late.
Yeah.
Then we got the Attitude Era pack, which is both New Age Outlaws, even though Billy Gunn's in AEW.
Hooray!
So that's kind of cool. They had a cool voice line entrance last time they were in a game, so hopefully that's back because that's kind of cool. D'Lo.
Love D'Lo.
Mark Henry and Victoria.
Does D'Lo have the chest protector on? I would hope.
I would assume so.
Awesome.
And the last one I also don't really care about is the Saturday Night's Main Event pack. It's Ventura, Junkyard Dog, Mr. Wonderful, Sid Justice, and Tito Santana.
Tito Santana.
Yeah, so that's some of, like, I think the first pack's probably the best one just because I only care about the current people, really, and, like, maybe some legends, but most of the time it's fair I don't care about, which begs the question, why buy it? Because I want everything.
You know, I sometimes go back and watch old WWE stuff to fall asleep a lot, and man, Jesse Ventura said some really inappropriate things about Tito Santana all the time. All the time. It was like, by 2025 standards, you're like, woof, you are canceled, Jesse Ventura.
And then, of course, there was the pre-order pack, which is already out, if you pre-ordered, which was just all the Wyatt 6.
Okay. They're still a thing? They exist?
Yeah.
When's the last time they were
on SmackDown,
on TV?
No. They haven't been yet, but like you're also not going to see them if they are.
True that. And I don't miss them.
And it's interesting because all their old models are in the game too. Like, so there's regular Loomis, Gacy, Nikki Cross, and the pre-Wyatt 6 version of Uncle Howdy.
Weird.
Nobo Dallas. So those are in the base game. And then if you want the Wyatt 6 versions, you would get this pre-order, which are all different models. And then also Eric Rowan's on the base one. And then like the Dead Man edition, you get like an Elite version Undertaker, 1990 Undertaker and Brother Love as a manager. And then like some crap for the Island, which is like the like the city in NBA, that kind of thing.
Right.
And then there's like a Bloodline pack where you get like Nation of Domination Rock and Elite Roman and Jey Uso, which that's like if you get the big fat edition that I got. And then it's like last year when they put in the WrestleMania 40 arena later, like eventually I'll get the Mania 41 whenever that's out.
Nice.
So that'd be cool. I'm honestly just waiting for Machine Guns, the NXT women, and then Penta.
Yeah, those are the ones I would care about, I think, out of that list too.
Some of the Attitude Era one, the Attitude Era one's kind of cool to me
and
too.
And D'Lo, get you some D'Lo Brown.
Yeah, but other than that, like, I guess actually I do kind of want to see Abyss. I think that's kind of cool.
You mentioned Taker. I didn't put it in my news, but did you hear how he's in the news right now?
No, I didn't.
So that LFG show.
Oh yeah.
You see who's being added?
No.
His wife. What's her face?
Michelle
McCool.
She looks like. Have you seen her?
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
She looks.
She does.
Apparently he was kind of like, if you want me to keep being in the show, she needs to be in the show. So they cut Mickie James, and apparently it wasn't that he wanted Mickie James off, but he wanted his wife on. So
right, because when I think of people who know wrestling, I think of Michelle McCool over
like
Mickie James.
She should mentor the next generation of wrestlers for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I get it. You want to work with your wife, but it's kind of douchey to be like, I'll only do it if she does it, if you hire her. Like, nepotism at its finest. Like, I literally won't do it unless you hire my wife. So I guess I'll go another one because that wasn't really in there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So speaking of WCW, because you mentioned it there, good news for me, WWE is launching a WCW YouTube channel, right? So dedicated channel, apparently rapidly uploading the archives pay-per-view events and TV episodes from
They've
80s.
done that. I was telling you they have an NXT channel as well.
80s, 90s, and 2000s. So,
which begs the question, why get Netflix? I guess for the live stuff, but like
it's not all on Netflix. I don't think. Like
Not
I
yet,
struggle
at
to
least.
find WCW stuff.
no,
so-
WCW's not there yet. NXT is a little weirder.
Yeah, and it's not. It's pay-per-views, but not episodes, right? On Netflix for NXT, I think.
Everything until 2.0.
Right. So good news for me. I'll be checking some of that out. You never know. Probably even tonight as I go to bed.
I will ignore it.
Yeah, you will.
Rumored plan for Mania, no surprise, is going to be a 3-way for the world title with Io's shock title win.
Yeah.
Right now it's penciled as Io and Belair, but the rumor is that Ripley will get added.
Did catch me by surprise.
I agree.
I was a big fan.
2 title changes that I think were pretty surprising.
Yeah.
One more than the other. I think Io's was honestly more surprising.
Very surprising.
I'm happy for her.
Me too.
The
Love
first person to hold both new belts for the women.
Good for her. She's awesome, man.
And she'll be the first to walk into Mania with both those belts, which is kind of cool for her back-to-back years.
As good as it gets in the ring, as far as I'm concerned. Harley Cameron, no longer scheduled for MLP, and I only mention that it's the show Mayhem, Wrestling Mayhem in.
I think that's the one before
in
the
Windsor.
one we're trying to go to.
Just and all it said was unforeseen circumstances, though that could mean anything. But
It's crazy because last time she was on the show, we still hated her.
and she's probably a draw at this point, so that's too bad because MLP we're hoping can catch on and
It's
do
fine.
well.
They have Tom Latimer.
Right. So too bad she's out. Probably would be somewhat of a draw for people, but
Yeah, I'd like to see her live.
she has unforeseen circumstances, so we'll see.
Let's see. The next one I had was there's apparently been talk of a second Evolution pay-per-view. Remember the all-women's one a few years back?
Yep. They could do it.
I think it'd be cool.
Put NXT women in there too.
You need to have more NXT people too. The thing is, though, they're going to have to invest some creative in that. You can't just be throwing up legend matches.
No,
shit like
well,
that.
not for us, that's for sure. But for
No.
maybe the average fan, maybe.
And I hope they just do it just because there's a lot of great women there, not because women can't wrestle in Saudi, which they can now. But that was the whole thing with the first one. It's like, because I remember that one was either just before or just after Crown Jewel 2018. That was the one where Shane McMahon won the Best in the World thing.
Yeah, he
and
did.
It was the Brothers of Destruction DX match.
Yeah.
And that was when they still weren't allowing women to wrestle on those shows.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, hey, everyone's going over here. The women can have their own show over here,
Yeah.
And also the last Evolution pay-per-view was so long ago that Baszler was still legitimate.
She was.
And speaking of which, something I didn't write down was that I was telling you, Jade Cargill apparently has some heat backstage, rubbing people the wrong way.
Baszler's gonna choke her out.
And yeah, apparently in like June, I think it was when they were running her and Belair against Baszler and Stark. Around that time, Baszler was like willing to fight her, and people had to like step in. Which I mean, Jade's lucky because Baszler would mess her up.
I think so.
100%.
And I was saying it's probably one of those like Jade hasn't paid her dues and carries herself a certain way that people don't appreciate.
Sometimes I think the whole pay your dues thing is kind of like overplayed and whatever. But then at the same time, when you on the other end of the spectrum, you have someone like Sable who came in really over and like super popular, and then so she gets overinflated ego. And honestly, given the way they treated
I'll
Jade,
bet you it's similar to that.
I could easily see that. And I'm not gonna like jump to conclusions and automatically say that Jade is like that. But if these are the reports that are coming out,
Wouldn't surprise me.
I wouldn't surprise me. And also, ride or die for Baszler.
That's right. Kind of good news for AEW, I think. They're announced with Prime Video, right? Their pay-per-view distribution
Oh, I
agreement.
thought you were going to say good news for AEW. Zach Knight left because I had that.
Yeah, I saw that as well. I didn't hate him somehow.
No, I know. You did kind of
In ring, I thought he was better than his sister.
I just think it's funny because we don't like Saraya.
So pay-per-view events available to purchase on Prime across the US, Canada, UK. So that's just one more outlet that's clearly interested. So I think it's bad news.
And it's a widely like...
Bad news for all the Fed heads that are
accessible.
like, oh, AEW is going out of business. The demise is coming and blah, blah, blah. It's another kind of indication that they're pretty solid, you know?
Agreed. An unfortunate one for us is we're fans of hers. Asuka is expected to be out past Mania. I'm honestly, I
Was she
forget.
hurt? Like,
I think so. I honestly don't know what her issue is.
because I know
didn't
she's been
think I read
dealing with
that far.
social media nonsense
I
too.
did see that. But I assume she's injured if she's going to be out past Mania. I'm not sure what her deal is.
It's too
I
bad.
didn't
Love
actually
Asuka.
Look at that.
There's a bit of a Io did the Asuka lock. She actually did the moves of I think all of Damage Control when she won that title. Last one I have is that we like. Well, I love podcasts. Here's a whole bunch more that I don't want it because you talked about one last week, right, with Stephanie McMahon.
Okay.
So WWE teaming with Fanatics to launch a new series of podcasts.
So, okay.
So, for example, the Raw recap show will be hosted by Megan Morant and Sam Roberts.
I already want to shoot myself.
And it'll be like immediately after and will be super obnoxious and terrible.
They already did something like that with like, they did Raw Talk and Talking Smack.
Yes.
But those made more sense because the video format allows them to like replay the clips and like, why would you make that a podcast?
Well, podcast might still be video, right? Like we're on beautiful video here.
But like it.
And I don't have a hat on this week, which is crazy.
This sounds dumb.
I know it doesn't interest me.
Right,
and then also
there's one after SmackDown.
Also teases that, quote, some superstars and legends of the sport will be hosting future podcasts, and they all sound awful to me.
So basically what you're telling me is the bump is gone, but the bump's not gone.
Probably.
I honestly forgot about it until now.
They modernized it.
This is my token mention of the bump. I hate that thing with the burning passion. I'm glad it's dead, but then they still do crap like this.
Because it'll be not quite kayfabe, but basically kayfabe.
That's what the bump was. And it was so horrible. It's like, and that's basically what their media scrums are too. That's why I like the AEW ones, because they feel legit and like there's people asking legitimate questions. There's people, and the wrestlers aren't usually in kayfabe. Like at most you'll have like MJF standing character or MVP kind of shooting down dumb questions. Like when they're in character, it's not in a way that feels stupid. It just feels like them kind of committing to the bit. Whereas like you have Cody in character and it's like, it's phony, or you have Jey Uso yeeting, or Triple H will answer questions, but then anytime he gets asked like something legitimate, like have you watched or how are you responding to the Vince allegations, and he just like gives like an answer that doesn't even begin to start.
Well, and then gets mad at people for asking the questions. So the thing with these podcasts that they're never ever going to be critical of anything, right? So at that point you've lost credibility. You're never going to criticize anything, so it's just chilling, right? And it doesn't interest me. Anyways, I am tapped out for news
already. Wow. Okay. I think I have a couple more.
Go for it.
I saw that with his speculated WWE debut, Rey Fenix has potentially, like, it's rumored he agreed to a non-disparagement clause with AEW.
Oh, so you can't talk crap about them?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like that's probably smart on them, considering he already kind of was cryptic about it, and then it kind of keeps them out of
I bet you that came out of they let him out earlier than they could have with they could have added the injury time or whatever. So it's probably like, hey, listen, we won't do that, but you need to shut up about us kind of deal.
Yeah, and I think that kind of works out for everybody.
I'm wondering if they're working him into this Gable angle at all based on Raw this week.
Yeah. He's the heel one and Penta's the babyface.
Yeah, that's weird.
Jamie Hayter's been gone for a bit. She's working out a visa renewal.
I mean, the timing's not even bad because we've hated how they brought her back. So
she kind of hasn't done anything, right?
We hit the pause button and they can go, hey, we need to do something different because she was awesome and now she's not.
Even if she loses, I'd kind of like her to feud with Bane because I feel like that would be dope.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Or she could, win a feud. That's okay too.
Yeah, she could win matches and like look good and be cool again.
That'd be fine. Yeah. I could live with that. And then last one was Cody Rhodes reportedly taking a bruise and a black eye from getting slapped by Travis Scott.
I think he's saying it's not from that.
I don't know
what else it's from.
He looks messed up.
And
I don't know what else it could have been.
And if you go back and watch Travis Scott, he really clips him.
I don't think there's any way it's not him because like Cena clearly wasn't decking him for real with the belt and whatever.
It did look good though, that belt.
It did. But like it was definitely Travis because he like absolutely whacked him, and Cody, like, Cody's eyes look messed up. I saw a clip of him on SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
He looks rough, and I was saying to you, it's like the eye equivalent of his torn pec.
Right.
It's so like bruised and whatever. And then also apparently Travis Scott's reportedly training.
Hooray.
Yes.
He was a terrible part of a great segment, I think.
I don't know why he was there.
He added nothing, but we'll get to it.
Yeah, actually, I'd argue he detracted from it considering he injured Cody and just was like there for no reason.
He was trying so hard to look cool and nonchalant, and it was so stupid. But anyways,
I don't know why he was there.
Actually, that's a perfect segue because we're going to talk about that. Our ice cold takes on a pay-per-view from PLE. Sorry, my mistake. My mistake. From a week ago, we're going to run down the 4 matches that were Elimination Chamber. All right, Elimination Chamber, you pull up over under accurate for us. I do actually know Meltzer's star rating for Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. I do know what he gave that, but I don't think I remember anything else. So let's talk about Elimination Chamber. Pre-show, or actually even just like opening show stuff, I was making nachos. You were sort of paying attention. All I remember was Kevin Owens dressed in a Bret Hart jacket, walking around picking up weapons.
The pre-show is just a waste of time now. No match.
That was the only notable thing I mentioned.
I don't even remember anything.
Any thoughts on the set or anything like that before we get into
it was one of the smaller stages where it's kind of like a taller here, and then it's like got the thin rectangles kind of going around because they want to fit more people in. So it's like a smaller stage to have
biggest gate in the world as we got gouged. Everyone cheers. That's my favorite.
Because ever since the TKO merge, it's the dynamic pricing, right?
Apparently, though, like, it wasn't full.
It looked pretty full.
So they priced themselves out. I heard it was around, I'd have to look, but like around 40,000 when they can get 60.
But it was a smaller stage, like usually for like the big arenas, but I guess Rogers Centers is pretty huge.
But they'd rather gouge 40,000 than let 60 in affordably.
Yeah.
How nice of them. So the opening match is the women's chamber match. That is Alexa Bliss, Roxanne Perez, Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Bayley, and Naomi. So Naomi and Liv are the two that are about to start out, and then
Naomi and Belair in all white,
right?
Morgan in mostly white,
and then Jade Cargill's music hits
in black.
So she runs in, or actually she comes down. I don't think she ran, maybe jogged. I can't remember. So Liv obviously looks nervous because she assumes she's being targeted because Jade thinks she's the one that did it.
Well, because there was irrefutable evidence.
Right. They were walking near the area around that time. And that's like dead to rights. May as well have DNA, you know? But no, Cargill turns her attention to Naomi and destroys her, slams her into the chamber door.
She annihilated her.
I don't think Cargill's looked that good in WWE.
Ever.
Right? So
and
really good attack. I
thought when she slid the door in Naomi's head, that looked awesome.
It did. So it ends up...
Which isn't saying much of the best thing you do is just sliding a door, but looked vicious.
It looked really good. And Bianca's doing an amazing job.
Yeah, she's like freaking out. I thought having her in the pod watching that was actually a really cool touch.
But I thought someone pointed out, and I don't remember, I'd have to go back, that when Jade started to advance, Belair quickly, bumped my mic, took her jacket off as though she were ready to defend herself too. So then it's like, was she in on the attack as well? Was it just
based
Naomi?
On the
you know how you like
that
take off your jacket to fight sort of thing?
Based on that in the SmackDown segment, it wouldn't seem like that, but she could be playing along con.
Right. But either way, her acting in that pod was fantastic.
I agree.
I think it added. So
I agree.
A really notable arrival to start the show.
We did call it, but I thought it would be like to
stop somebody
in the match.
Now,
right?
Naomi gets stretchered out and she's eliminated. And
then I thought it was like definitely a fiery way to.
So they bookended this show pretty strongly, I would suggest. I'll tell you right now, this is one of my favorite WWE PLEs in a while.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was.
I liked it, but I would say that about Rumble more so.
3 out of 4 matches I thought on this were
as expected.
Very good. One was absolute filler. I'll let you guess which one.
It was the unsanctioned match.
Naomi, as we said, gets stretchered out. So it's Belair who's in next, and she's the whole kind of the storyline is they're telling is, well, she's distraught by what happened, and good for her because she's still carrying on and whatnot, even though she's probably confused and upset. So Morgan takes advantage early on because Belair is kind of off her game after having that happen. Belair gets the advantage, hits some of her signature stuff, and then Roxanne enters the match next. Obviously, she's on fire. Running into both. She had
like that tilt-a-whirl head scissors that was really quick.
Yes, it was. Sharp. And then repeatedly running into the corners until Liv finally...
Yeah, it was a lot of corner uppercuts, but she had some good speed on her.
She did, and Liv finally catches her with something.
Maybe it was the code breaker. She likes to spam that.
Roxanne side Russian leg sweep to Belair into the cage. Liv with a nice shotgun drop kick to Roxanne. Bayley's next out, and she and Roxanne go at it because they have history, obviously, so we're furthering that story.
I feel like that's their Mania match. I
think so, too.
Or that's, honestly, actually, you could do the Mania match, but that's a match then you do some sort of stipulation match for Evolution, because this is a storyline we've been building. So that's, like, this is the kind of match you need on that, right?
You do. Roxanne takes the worst of that exchange. We get a Bayley to belly to Perez into the chamber wall. Then Perez with a powerbomb to Bayley.
I don't remember it, but I imagine that looking stupid.
Because it'd be less impactful than just the mat.
Yeah, it's not like remember the one tag match on Dynamite and White hit the Blade Runner to Christian into the barricade and it looked really cool?
Yeah.
It's not like that.
No. Perez with the powerbomb to Bailey onto the grating or the whatever the flooring is there.
It's not grating anymore. Remember, that was
too dangerous.
Yeah, now it's like definitely padded flooring.
Yeah. Then a frog splash. Bliss is next, gets a really good reaction from the crowd. Roxanne crossface to Bailey, but Bailey drags Perez to the wall and escapes. Bailey dumps Roxanne over the ropes onto the platform, but Liv comes over, hits the Oblivion to Bailey, and Bailey is the first person, I guess second, counting Naomi.
Yeah, like I guess it is technically a second, and cage match would also count that, but like it feels like
the first,
right?
Eliminated, like one just couldn't start even.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Liv climbs to she climbs up the side to escape Belair, on top of a pod, I think. Remember, this is the hair whip spot. My God.
Oh my God.
And they replayed it a million times.
It's so like
sounded crazy. I told you it sounded like they would add in sound effects clearly into Lucha Underground to make them sound ridiculous.
It reminds me of, because she did the same thing to Asuka at Mania. It's like
crazy.
Oh my God, dude.
So Liv, that sort of gets her hanging off the cage. She falls to the floor. Belair dives onto all three of the other women involved. We get a Tower of Doom with Bliss on top. Codebreaker to Perez by Morgan, Twisted Bliss, and Alexa Bliss eliminates Roxanne Perez, who we both picked to win.
That was not very...
We thought we were clever, too.
Yeah.
Bliss with the three amigos to Belair. Bliss then hits her finisher on Belair, but Liv jumps in to pin Bliss with a jackknife, and Bliss gets eliminated here by Liv.
And judging by the look on her face, it feels like that could be
going somewhere.
Yeah, she did not look thrilled with that.
Belair and Liv are now the final two. Commentary here talking about how amazed at Belair since the, quote, mental disturbance started the match, is what they called that.
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
Belair swings Liv into the cage and the pod, and it looks pretty good at that point. Liv gets her knees up on a Belair 450. Bianca counters the Oblivion into the KOD, and Belair wins after just under 30 minutes. Ripley comes up Belair on the ramp, and then Io joins them, sort of foreshadowing, I guess. Again, like there's that triple threat match that I'm pretty sure we're getting, right?
Yeah, I feel like it kind of has to be.
And so it feels like that's why Belair and Naomi lost the titles, because Belair's moving on to do single stuff. Naomi's obviously spinning off into a program with Cargill. Belair became a singles wrestler and a number one contender all in one night, right? Basically, I guess.
That's how you split a tag team.
And she's a fine choice, I guess. So the match itself, I thought it was pretty good. It's going to pick up some bonus marks for me because much like Battle Royals, if you think about all of the feuds it's furthering or starting.
Right, you have Belair and Morgan, kind of. You had the Naomi thing, obviously, starting it off. Bailey and Perez.
Continued there. You're thinking maybe Liv and Bliss.
Right.
So I feel like they started some things, continued some things.
I thought it was really pretty good. Little unspectacular to me, but like the action was generally good. That you made a good point. Like I wasn't thinking about. There is actually some stories being told throughout there. Again,
which
I
helps.
think like the Rumble match is done better by the men.
Yeah.
But still, I like that they made the effort here. It feels like.
Yeah, I agree, and I thought the match was pretty good. The Jade coming out to start was really good. Really good beating she put down on Naomi.
Yeah, 100%.
I thought Liv took a lot of action in this, and it was good. The action was steady, never spectacular. My interest was held. I thought it was a good opener. It was a half-hour match. It didn't feel that long.
No, it didn't feel like a slog at all.
No, so for over-under accurate, what do we have?
It's 7.68 from Cage Match, and Meltzer gives it 4.5. Wow.
So I'm under Meltzer, kind of accurate with Cage. I went 3 3/4.
I agree.
I thought it was good.
Very strong.
Yep, good match. Then, speaking of very strong, we move into the filler match. It's Nia Jax, it's Candice LeRae taking on hometown girl Trish Stratus and Tiffany Stratton, because she's a babyface. Early on, Nia, I haven't
They're Team Trishy and Tiffy. Have you not heard their genius, creative,
brilliant,
impossible to figure out tag name? Where do they come up with this stuff?
I had early on that Nia, quote unquote, sits on Stratton. Remember, she wasn't even close to touching her at that spot.
It was like the Ivar spot from the corner where it's like they're coming at him, you like get
with like 4 inches of clearance,
but like not even touching him.
Wade Barrett tells Michael Cole that no one listens to Cole, and we laughed. He's like, no one listens to your commentary anyways, or something. We thought it was funny. Jack laughs at McAfee talking about rattling Niagara Falls.
Oh yeah, because
I don't remember.
It was something about Nia Jax and like her rattling Niagara Falls from all the way over there. And I saw that it was very mean, but it was really funny.
Stratton plays the face in peril here early on. Trish gets a hot tag. before eventually she gets overpowered by Nia Jax. Nia's ragdolling Trish with a bear hug and then just drops her. Stretch muffler, Nia swings Trish into the turnbuckle face first. That actually looked pretty good. Now the heels isolate and dominate Trish for a while. Nia, interesting. Nia wipes her butt on Trish's head. I have. Tiffany gets her chance at a hot tag and goes on a roll, including an Alabama slam to LeRae and a spine buster to Jax. Stratton gets knocked off the top going for her moonsault. And remember her leg kind of awkwardly got caught for a second? But she seemed okay. Trish back in with a Stratisfaction to LeRae. Nia gets involved, drags LeRae to the corner. Nia tags herself in, only to end up taking a bulldog off the top from Stratus. Candice tries to break up the pin after a moonsault, but Trish moves and the moonsault connects with Nia Jax instead. LeRae gets sent to the floor. Stratton eventually goes to the right corner. Goes to the right corner because she almost went to the wrong one and then was like, oh, you're over there. So I got to go to the other corner. I remember that now. And she hits her PME, prettiest moonsault ever, to Nia Jax for the win in, I think it was
I'm surprised LeRae didn't take the pin.
Just under 12 minutes. Me too. I don't know, man. Average match?
Average at best and as expected.
Felt out of place on a PLE.
Yeah. It felt like a fan service Toronto kind of thing.
I felt, and it's also like, hey guys, Tiffany Stratton's a face, trust us. So
she's a baby face.
We're pairing her up with your favorite hometown baby face.
And we don't want
to
face. Really start building her in Charlotte yet for some reason.
So it was Stratton and Stratus taking turns, getting hot tags kind of, and then when the heels were in control, it was like just kind of okay.
Yeah.
Clearly a filler match for Canadian fans. Nothing special.
Super. And
could have been on Raw.
Chaffee, because he was there. He was saying like Stratus wasn't even like crazy over like you'd expect.
Yeah. He also said a friend of mine and a teacher of yours, he was there. His daughter's very into wrestling, and he was saying they were sitting in, I think, the 500s, and like your view is obstructed by the chamber.
Yeah,
he said it kind of sucks that way in that sense.
It comes with the territory, right?
And he got his daughter a picture with Damian Priest.
I saw that. That's one of the things with like the Punjabi prison too. Is like that's what I said to him was Chamber's bad, Punjabi prison's worse.
He said they shuttle you through the photo so fast. It's like picture, get out next sort of thing, right?
Yeah,
like
that's the thing with like
no lingering.
Same thing with Comic-Con too, because my friend because Hancock's done like. A couple of those with like Hayden Christensen or like the Clone Wars cast.
And they look so nice in the picture, but it was like 2 seconds and then you're out.
That's why I don't like to do that, because like
it feels so.
I don't care that much. Like there's very few people I would want to do that with, even just to have that 2 seconds. I always say if we went to a Comic-Con and Sam Witwer was there, the guy who voices Darth Maul, I'd gladly do that because he's legendary.
Well, you see me, the only people I want to really talk to are other podcasters I like.
Yeah.
The wrestlers I don't care that much.
Yeah, or like the indie ones are fun because
they are. Like, and just to tell them like, hey, I appreciate
cool.
what you're doing. You do a good job, right?
Yeah, like I like talking to Vertigo. He seemed cool.
Yeah, he was cool.
But like stuff like that. But yeah, like that stuff's always so quick. So it just feels like at that point, it's like I'd rather just like wish I was doing it instead of doing it. Because you know what I mean. It's better
so
just like
insincere and like assembly line and.
Well, and that's the whole celebrity culture where it's like you idolize them, you have this picture of them in your head, and then obviously. You
never meet your heroes,
right? Because they're this whatever kind of person to you, but then you're just another number in the crowd.
Whereas when we saw House of Black at an indie show, it was free. They lined up. They stayed as long as people were lined up for pictures at that indie show.
Talked to Buddy Matthews about the sticker.
Yeah, gave him a sticker. We talked to Brody King a little bit even during the show.
Right, like that's cool to me, and like then that's
why indie shows are fun.
Yeah, and like I was telling you, I was watching the whole Van Vliet interview with Ospreay, and Ospreay seems like. Obviously not to project again, but like Ospreay seems like a good dude
like
for that.
Just a good guy.
Like, and so that's what I'm saying. Like those kind of interviews and whatever. It's like it's just or not the interview. Sorry, the meet and greets or whatever.
Because what's most likely to happen is you come away liking them less. So why not risk that, right?
Yeah, and it's just like I'd rather just buy an autograph.
Yeah.
Or not even like that, but just.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Over under accurate on this bad boy.
Meltzer went 2 3/4, and it's a 5.19.
I went 3 stars. I was like, it wasn't bad. It was just super average.
I'll be a little mean and I'll agree with Meltzer.
I think 2 3/4 is totally fair.
It honestly makes no difference to me, but.
Next, we get the unsanctioned match. 2 Canadian boys. Hometown battle. Sami Zayn taking on Kevin Owens.
Home country. I think they're both Quebec.
For the millionth time, they are. So not hometown, really.
Yeah.
KO is in control early.
Dummy.
And of course, the lights are partially out for this unsanctioned match.
I do kind of dig the feel like that they kind of put some effort in that. Like the ref's got a black shirt. There's not like the branding on there because
get a lot of refs for an unsanctioned match.
That's true.
They just got them lined up.
I like that because when they do the ref bumps, Charles Robinson's one of the ones that runs down.
He took a pretty nice clothesline.
But it's also, remember, there's the Mania spot from the first Taker Shawn match where he has to like bolt down the long ass runway. It's like it was kind of like that, you know. So that was kind of a funny, probably inadvertent callback.
Sammy sends Owens into the ring post on the floor, throws some chairs in the ring, but Owens uses one of them repeatedly when he gets back in the ring. Owens then, with a rebound chair shot to himself, the classic
that looks so good.
Bounce off the ropes into his own face.
That one looked really good. And then the one I always remember is the first NXT War Games. O'Reilly comes at Alexander Wolf with one. He absolutely whacks off his own head and then gets German suplex. It's like, O'Reilly used to be such a good in-ring comedian, dude.
We saw Wolf on the Indies too, right?
We did.
After his departure at Smash.
Was it after?
I'm pretty sure it was in at Rec Room.
I thought you were going to say it was at the Smash Progress show.
No.
That would have been my guess.
It was just that Smash, I think.
I think you're right. Was it the one where he faced Vertigo? Because I know he did. But
and I think that was where the dudes from Lucha Underground were there, and they were so much slower.
They were, yeah.
Not great. So Zayn takes over with chair shots of his own now, gets a hockey stick from under the ring, uses it on Owens until Owens rolls to the floor to safety. Sammy then gets a table, sets it up on the floor. Owens gets control of the hockey stick, has it in Sammy's mouth, and is biting Sammy's head. Owens gets another table, stacks it on top of the first one.
Not often you see stacked tables anymore.
Crazy. Sammy hits him with the hockey stick, and they go into the crowd to brawl. Trash can to Owens and a back suplex through a table. Trash can lid shots send Owens back to ringside. The ring bell shots to Sammy, and then a trash can lid shot for him. Owens up top. It looks like Sammy is going to stop him, but KO suddenly shoves Sammy off the top through the two stacked tables on the floor.
I was saying to you, I was surprised because Owens set up the table. I was like, oh my God, he actually
he's supposed to go through
it. But Zayn set up the first table, so it's fair game.
It's true. That's fair. Commentary, make sure to let us know that Sammy is selling his neck, which makes sense.
Because the package power driver, right?
Really sick, yes. Fisherman's Buster onto a chair.
Super sick.
In the ring, earns Owens a 2 count. Looked amazing. Sammy avoids a pop-up powerbomb and hits 2 half-and-half suplexes with the
one
second
of them on
one.
The chair. Oh my God.
Absolutely
perfect.
Obliterates the chair.
The placement on that, though, was like
because the chair's
so
set up
perfect. It's
and
a seated chair.
Destroyed it.
And Owens like going upside down head first. Like, it would look perfect.
First referee takes a haluva kick. Stunner by KO for a visual pinfall here as a second ref comes in a bit late. Owens then kills the second ref with a clothesline. I think that was Charles Robinson.
Lil Nate.
A third ref comes down, and there's like so many refs for an unsanctioned match.
All these okay. Since we had the ref running down, we should have had a ref cam as they're like
just jostling.
Yeah.
Sammy throws a chair into Owens' face as Owens sitting on the top rope. Sammy goes up and joins him, and KO hits an avalanche Fisherman's Buster through a table for a near fall in another crazy spot. And I just write Petey Williams sighting. I guess he's one of the security people.
Remember Kenny Dykstra, I think, too?
One of the officials.
I love seeing Kenny Dykstra.
Sammy follows Owens into the corner with a haluva kick for a near fall. Sammy gets a barbed wire chair out, uses it.
That was surprising. Apparently, it wasn't shaved down.
I heard that too. Uses it
alleged.
Uses it on Owens' back, then sets the chair up, drop toe hold to Owens onto the chair. Still no blood. Because they were saving the blood for later, I think.
Well, and because he never hit him in the face. What a waste to have a barbed wire chair and then hit a guy in the back when he's wearing a shirt.
I'm sure they were under strict orders for no blood.
Oh, I'm sure it's intentional. It's just
they were Will Washingtoning it for later.
It's just disappointing.
Blue Thunderbomb to Owens on a barbed wire chair, spanning
sweet.
2 other chairs, looked amazing.
That's true. It was bridged.
Haluva kick countered with a pop-up powerbomb, chair neck into the post, and another as Cole is now screaming for Kevin Owens to stop. Apron bomb by Owens. Officials get involved. This is a nice callback. Another apron bomb for Sammy, and that's it. It's over. 27 minutes. We also get a Shane Saber sighting. Speaking of independents, one of our favorite locals.
Takes us here, guys. Good old Shane Saber takes an RKO.
He does, and I bet that is a highlight for him, right?
Yeah.
He took an RKO from Randy Orton.
I didn't recognize any of the other dudes.
Orton's music hits, walks down so slowly, that Owens, I said, Orton's music hits and he walks so slowly that Owens could have murdered Sammy 6 times before Orton even got to the ring. They brawl, RKO for Kevin Owens, tease of a chair shot, but he throws it away and sets up for the punt instead. Always bringing back the punt, people.
Because he's going to that dark place. Owens has just
That's right.
pushed him there.
Pushed him too far. But it gets intercepted by officials. Owens escapes. RKOs to a bunch of security. I think that's when Sabre took the RKO. So I ended up loving this.
I thought it was great.
I thought the first chunk was kind of basic.
And I picked it. You didn't.
Right. And then I thought once they returned from the crowd brawling, things went bananas at that point, right?
Yeah.
And
bananas as main roster can go.
Lots of memorable spots. To me, the stuff through the chairs was more impressive than the tables.
I agree.
The chairs, they just drilled
tables
them
is
perfectly.
Way more safe, too.
I would agree. And Owens was kind of relentless in targeting Sammy's neck. I like the callback to the power bombs on the apron to finish it, going back to like NXT stuff, right? I thought the final 2/3 of this were awesome. Pains me to say it, though. I do think I prefer
we both kind of had the consensus.
KO and Cody, even though I love Sammy and hate Cody.
I just think the beating in that was so much crazier. It was just like, and the feud was, I think, more built there because this one is like more of a feud based on a previous feud. Like
many previous feuds.
It hasn't been built on as much currently. We'll say.
I agree.
Is also the thing.
Over under accurate.
Well. Cage match.
I know what Meltzer said.
And Meltzer went a full 5 stars. That's surprising.
So I'm under both. I said 4 1/4 because I thought the beginning was not my favorite, and then I thought it was awesome.
It got there.
Last 2/3 were like 4.5 stars.
It's mean to compare, but it also doesn't compare to the unsanctioned match of like Gargano Ciampa. Or even really, I think the Cole O'Reilly one was really good too.
True. I don't particularly care about the Orton return either. I don't miss him when he's gone.
It's expected.
I love Owens a lot, so I'm kind of disappointed that's his program. But at least he's in one with a high-profile guy.
If I'm looking at it from what I would want, I would rather have a mini match with Orton than be Drew McIntyre and no offense have to wrestle Damian Priest.
100%.
So at least Orton is like a major dude, and we can hope he'll put Owens over. I doubt it, but
come on, as if. And he's fresh from coming back, so the fans are hyped to see him.
Yeah.
Et cetera, et cetera.
I did think it was funny that someone pointed out that his returns keep getting overshadowed because he returned from injury at Survivor Series the other year. CM Punk comes back. He returns this year, or he returns here from hiatus. Cena.
Yeah, very overshadowed.
I just think it's funny that he gets overshadowed at every point. Basically.
That's fine. He's no good. Main event. It's the men's chamber match. Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul, CM Punk, Damian Priest, John Cena, Seth Rollins. Logan Paul enters with an American flag just to get some extra
just got triggered from the Elimination Chamber for some reason.
And we saw, going back to the beginning of the show, we saw Pat McAfee like freaking out because Canadians booed the anthem.
Oh,
he was
really?
so mad about it. Yeah, he was super mad.
I like him more.
And I mean, maybe like consider why Canadians who are known for being like the nicest people on earth and have never booed your anthem or booing your anthem. Like, maybe there's a reason for that. You know what I mean?
There might be a slight correlation. You never know.
So Rollins and McIntyre will start out on this one. And we get an immediate Claymore stomp attempt avoided by each man. Drew catches Seth, dumps him over the ropes onto the platform to take control. Rollins rams Drew into the pod repeatedly. A light falls down in Punk's pod. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. And then he was like, I thought it was kind of funny. Then he's like trying to hold it up like everything is normal. And I don't know when, so it's worth mentioning now. Logan Paul's like drawing on the pod with a Sharpie again, which is something he did last year.
I don't even know if I noticed that.
I did. They have, because one of the things he wrote was OVO on there because Drake's in the front row and they don't mention it at all.
Didn't acknowledge him.
My theory is because, you know, there's the whole beef with him and Kendrick Lamar, and like Lamar did the whole Super Bowl halftime, so I'm assuming Drake's stock's kind of down, and so like while it's cool to have Drake there, it might not be cool mentioning it.
Correct.
So they're like, they're not trying to like, hey, we got the guy who's on the losing side of this rap beef. You know what I mean?
I think that's probably true.
And then I actually just saw something like AEW's looking to do something with Lamar.
I saw that too.
Hooray. We don't have to.
And I agree.
It's like if you didn't, I wouldn't be mad.
No, me either. Drew hits a decapitator in the bottom turnbuckle just before Priest enters. So Drew and Priest then have a strike exchange. Priest comes out ahead, throws Seth onto Drew with the razor's edge. Seth gets powerbombed by Drew onto Priest back for a 2 count. Spider German by Drew to Seth as Seth superplexes Priest. Everyone down. Logan Paul's out next. Springboard crossbody to Drew, moonsault to Priest. Priest rams Logan into a pod. Old school Drew into a Rana. Then Paul with a gut wrench suplex to Drew onto the metal platform.
That was pretty impressive.
It was. It's a big man. Cena enters next and is on fire, hitting signatures and finishers to everybody. 5-knuckle shuffle and an AA to Paul, but a Claymore to Drew, by Drew to Cena. Priest catches Drew with the crucifix pin, and Drew is the first elimination. So obviously that's where that's going.
Killing my dreams immediately.
So again, there's furthering a feud there, even if it's a feud we hate.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
Also murdering my hopes and dreams.
He hits a Claymore to Priest before leaving. That's true, he did. Frog splash by Logan Paul.
Which
from
means
the
we
pod.
tied overall, which
That's
is
right.
what we tried to avoid.
From the pod onto Priest. Priest is eliminated just before Punk enters last. He goes after Logan Paul, suplexes him on the platform before ramming him repeatedly into a pod wall. Punk and Cena lock eyes, meet in the middle to face off. Seth catches Punk with a boot instead. Buckshot countered into a GTS, and Punk eliminates Logan Paul.
Punk must love countering the buckshot, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he also can't do it himself. So.
Final 3 take forever to do anything. That's what my note says. I guess it's like a little bit of a standoff there. Punk and Cena work together for a heart attack on Rollins. Cena wants a handshake. Punk wants a hug. Then they brawl. Multiple counters of signatures, and Punk ends up in a Cena STF to Jack's delight. Looked as bad as ever.
Exactly. I just love that Punk has to make that
Hasn't been working on it.
No, it's just... And it's like... Oh, I always remember it being bad, but just like... I feel like it's been so long since I've really seen it.
Looks so not painful.
It's just... Like, it's just so funny that he's always refused to reef on it, like, the slightest bit. As if he's gonna... It's like... I feel like he's worried he's just gonna, like... He's like, with these big muscles, if I even pull back a bit, I'm gonna
pop his head off.
I'm gonna snap his neck. Neck of sand.
Punk counters into an Anaconda Vice.
Which looks better.
Cena catches a Punk high cross attempt and hits an AA to Punk for a near fall. Rollins powerbombs Cena into the chamber, then runs him through a pod.
The bulletproof glass.
That's right. Pedigree to Punk for a 2 count. Buckle bomb and a stomp to Punk for a 2 count. Rollins fights out of an AA right into a GTS. Then an AA, and Rollins is eliminated after taking finishers from both. Handshake, an immediate GTS for 2 from Punk. Immediate AA after that for a 2. Then Rollins,
finisher spam, where the tribals at?
What?
Where the tribals at? It's a finisher spam.
Oh, I guess that's right.
Kickouts.
So Rollins at this point has not left the chamber.
Yeah, Punk's like draped over the bottom rope, right?
And so he takes a sudden stomp as Rollins is leaving. Cena applies an FTF to Punk.
It was like kind of a sleeper version. I love this because he's like, he kind of transitions the STF into a sleeper, and he's shouting like sorry, but then you see Rollins just like looking through the cage, and he's just like die. And I thought that was so funny. Like, I love that so much. I do love Rollins here, I will say.
Punk's out. The ref calls for the bell. Cena wins in about 33 minutes. So we'll talk about the match before we go to the aftermath. Yeah. I thought it was good.
Like the Rumble matches, I think multiple storylines going on, done better than the women. Not to discredit the women or anything, but there's a lot of things going on here. You had Logan Paul kind of antagonizing everybody. He's got history with Rollins. Rollins obviously has issues with Punk. Rollins has history with Cena. Cena has history with Punk. Priest and McIntyre get set up, so you have like a few set up for both of them. You also with this in the segment later on, you're also setting up another match for Rollins and Punk, which is the cage match next week. You're also setting up a future Punk Cena match.
And I like the action a little better than the women.
And I think the action is better, obviously, which I just think the caliber of talent is better, other than, no offense, Damian Priest.
Mm-hmm. Agree.
But generally, I think, a lot better than the women. And just, there's a lot more moving parts, and I think more interesting moving parts. Because even Cena, post-match, whatever, obviously, it's interesting to see what's going to happen in his last run. So, and I do like the callbacks of Punk. I thought him and them teaming up on Rollins was kind of neat. I really like Rollins' involvement in the finish. I thought that was smart. And I thought him just, shouting die at CM Punk is crazy. Drew McIntyre type activities for sure. But yeah, I think this one was just all around better, and it was a very enjoyable match, and just
I agree.
Made it more compelling than just a title shot thing.
Over under accurate.
So this was an 8.36 for cage match, and Meltzer gave it 4 3/4.
Wow, 4 3/4. Meltzer loved this paper. I went 4 stars. I thought it was very good.
especially for a chamber match.
And liked it better than the women, and the women was 3 3/4.
Like the Rumble match, it felt like the most notable iteration in a while. Because like when we did the Elimination Chamber quiz, I feel like the latest ones really haven't been that notable.
No.
Like I struggled to like the ones last year, especially were really.
I feel like
mediocre.
they've planned out the road to WrestleMania pretty well. Honestly,
I agree.
This year,
I agree. Like even though the EO title win feels random, I could also see that being planned.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And like with Cena, it feels like this obviously wasn't the plan, but also if it was, I feel like it wouldn't have gone any differently.
Yeah,
really.
true. No.
So I do kind of like that. Like it feels like there's a plan for Rollins, whether it's like Roman or Punk or both. It feels like that's been kind of like planning out. We're teasing different things with Logan Paul so that there's like multiple avenues for him. Right.
I feel like he's getting AJ.
I would like that. I feel like that'd be really cool.
That's fun.
That'd be a great match. Because AJ had a good match with Shane McMahon. So
true.
But I agree. Like I feel like all around they've been planning some decent stuff. Obviously, we had the Rumble winners have their matches and whatever. Right. That's a given. But yeah, I feel like the road has been kind of planned out, which is like why Starks ended up in NXT, right?
Because it's not, they're busy. Everyone's occupied.
Right. So I do kind of like that it does seem to be like more thought out, which is nice.
Then the big aftermath. Cody's music hits.
I would have bet money on this being a throwaway segment where it's like Cody's nah,
right.
You know what I mean? I think we were both expecting that.
As Cena is still in the ring. So I'm not going to say I saw the heel turn coming, but I remember saying to you, I was like, Cena lingering in the ring was suspicious to me.
It was.
Right? So
I mean, he could have just been there for support like Travis Scott, because why?
Right. So I didn't even really mention, I did mention he's in there. So they chat, Cena points to the sign, we get a handshake, Travis Scott comes out, then the Rock theme hits and he comes out. Rock says things and wants Cody's answer. Cody said he already gave his soul to the ring and to the people, and I'm just like, oh my God, of course.
If I could have bet money on what his response would be, I would have, like, any formation that, like, I already gave my soul away to the people.
He tells The Rock to go F himself, but he doesn't censor himself.
Drop it.
And Cena's almost, like, he's celebrating a lot, almost too much in hindsight, but in the moment,
but it's also very Cena style, though.
It is.
So it's like,
that's him.
It also doesn't raise a ton of suspicion because he's just like kind of like
he's
that.
So happy with everything Cody's saying, and yeah, we're screwing over The Rock. So Cena gives Cody a really big hug.
And the camera work here is
amazing.
Perfect. Like you see it over Cody's shoulder, so you see Cena's face go to like this kind of straight face and then his smirk, and then obviously it's like Cody doesn't know yet, right?
Did you happen to see somebody recut it as the Kevin Dunn cut? So it was like, because his thing was quick. It's like camera cut to Cena, camera cut to Rock, crowd, Rock, Cena, Rock, like back. Like, it was really funny actually.
That is funny. I would like to look.
He would have killed this. He would have made this segment very much worse.
Yeah,
right.
But I think the work was perfect. Rock does like the kind of cut the throat thing.
Cena's facial change is fantastic.
I agree. Kudos to him. And he boots Cody in the balls.
Yeah, and it was like, obviously this is a week later now, so you've all seen it, but like people are crying everywhere. Like people.
I saw this video of like some kid watching it, like Cena's making kids cry.
Yeah, man.
Who I like genuinely, I never thought I'd see the.
There is no other way that you could have gotten me interested in John Cena's final.
I don't care if this was always the plan or not, which I don't buy. I don't believe The Rock. It wasn't always the plan.
Yes.
I think it's genius.
So yeah, Rock makes this throat slit gesture. Cena takes out Cody, punches him with a Rolex, right? The microphone shot, and then a nice belt shot as The Rock just stands and watches.
Travis Scott does his thing.
Yeah, he's doing things.
It doesn't even matter.
Cody is bleeding, gets to his feet, takes another belt shot. Cena chokes him with his tie.
Like, what a crazy visual. We have John Cena choking on a bloody Cody Rhodes with a tie.
Very cool stuff, man.
Bryan Danielson callback with Justin Roberts.
Rock has a weight belt labeled Cody's Soul. I think it was on SmackDown, I heard, possibly.
It's like he did that one in the Mania Belt too. He had the Mama Rhodes one. It's like the same shtick.
Whips Cody with it. Cena throws the championship belt onto Cody, and the heels, saying that about Cena, weird, leave Cody beaten and bloody. So just like
this is a generational turn right here.
So this is a segment that, because you know how when I rate pay-per-views a lot of times now I go by the math, this has to be factored in.
I agree, and I think for me what makes it so cool too is that I was so certain it was going to be this throwaway bullshit I don't care about. Like, Cody's going to say no, they're going to set up a feud with them, whatever. And never did I think Cena's
going to be exactly the same and do his babyface shtick for another year.
Never did I think Cena was going to be there and be heel and like join The Rock. I think it's
a
so
big
smart
swing.
too. And one part I love about this the turn is. Like, I'll talk about later. Like, obviously it's cool they're changing up for his last run, but you were saying he's already the corporate champion. He's like a smiling guy, press conference, suit, whatever. Cena's not. We all know he's like a corporate yes man, right? But in kayfabe, he's not. He's never did a lot of press conferences because, like, obviously in his era they never did. But like, he's literally never worn a suit to any. He's always t-shirt and jorts, armbands, right?
Is
like,
he gonna wear trunks or something? You think?
I don't think so.
I think he
that
might.
Would be crazy. I don't know if I want to see that.
You turn Cena heel, nothing surprising after that.
That's true. That's
right?
true.
Like, he could come out in who knows what.
He could finally use, because he was supposed to turn heel against The Rock in 2012, so you could finally use the theme he was supposed to have. But for me, it's like, he's not that corporate champion, so him doing this is actually a change.
And he should be
unlike Cody.
He should be like teasing the 5 moves of doom, or then like giving the crowd the finger.
In 2018 when he had the lightning
like,
fist thing? Remember when he had like the... I saw someone say they should bring that back because it was so bad.
Make that his finish.
It would piss everyone off too.
So yeah, this was fantastic. This bumps this show. For me, it moves the show from a B+ to an A-. Like, I thought it was 4 matches. It wasn't a 5-hour show. One of the matches was a throwaways, but like 2 4-star matches out of 4 on an PLE for me, plus a fantastic segment and a heel turn for Cena. And I thought the Jade Cargill return was a little bit of a boost as well.
I agree.
So I thought a really good show.
In the last year, the amount of crazy segments we've had, like Hangman burning a house, the New Day segment, and then this, like, especially this, like, Cena's been a babyface for about
20 whatever years,
like 21 years. That's insane. So I don't like Cena hasn't appeared yet, obviously, but I can't wait to see what happens. Cause
me too. I went from being Cena's back for another year to okay. And we've been hating The Rock. This helps that, because even him doing the throat slit thing was awesome.
I agree. Like, it feels like Rock is actually doing something that matters now, and like I said it already, but I never thought I would see the day where I see heel Cena.
And I think
it's like Roman, but with the tribal chief, except Roman did the tribal chief in his prime. I think that's another thing that makes this more surprising. Is it's Cena's last run. We know we have a certain amount of time left with him.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's spending this run turning on the fans is even crazier. And I think it is kind of cool because I like that. I could easily see it being just the desperation to break that record, right? The world title record.
That's 100% what I was just going to say.
That's a perfect story to tell. That's perfect.
Cena will sell his soul to get that 17th title, and the best way to do that is to align yourself with the guy on the board, right? Who has infinite power within the company.
And then I think he has to get the title run, obviously.
I think so too.
And I would have said that even as a babyface, because they can't help themselves with the number.
And I'm still not thrilled to watch him in ring, but
you never know.
If his heel work is good, I'm way more interested now.
You never know. And
way more interested.
I think also whoever beats him for the title, that's like a huge
right.
You could either use that to like
elevate
boost up
someone.
Cody or someone like already there,
Logan
but like
Paul.
because he has to be a babyface, so I doubt it.
Oh,
but,
he can never be a babyface.
You could even, but you could use that to boost someone up so big, or like as much as I'd hate it, I don't really want it, but like imagine the payoff with like CM Punk being a heel Cena and like a role reversal to Summer
running
Punk.
that back from
even then that would be kind of cool to me. As much as I don't like Punk,
Summer of Punk 2.0, I know,
right? Like
that's one of the things that got me back into really paying attention.
But I just watched Wrestling with Regret how they butchered that so hard though.
Yeah.
But like there's so much potential with this Cena run.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited. Like this is
crazy.
Just
We're excited for a Cena run. So good job, WWE.
I agree. And I saw something. We got heel Cena before GTA 6.
That's
like, I know that's the meme and everything, but that's legitimately crazy.
Yeah.
So I agree though. Like 3 out of 4 matches were pretty sick. I think especially the unsanctioned match was awesome, and the main event was also really good. All timer segment and like an all timer moment. Like I know, like I think it's so cheesy that like, oh what a moment instead of like
it is
segment.
though.
But like this as a moment is insane.
And it was amazing.
I'd even like bump it a slight bit if Travis Scott wasn't there.
I know he did not help.
But it is definitely an A-. I mean, I'm really excited for Revolution, but so far WWE is batting 1,000 because I thought the Rumble was easily my favorite PLE in a long time.
And we're not like predisposed to loving WWE.
No,
PLEs.
but I think both of these have been really good. If I had to pick again, I would pick the Rumble.
Yeah.
Because I think, like we said, the ladder match was better.
Yes.
And I think the men's Rumble was just
awesome.
I think it's a lot harder to craft a great Rumble.
It
and
is.
I just think from top to bottom, that Rumble was so good.
Yep.
Other than the outcome.
Right.
Obviously. But
minor detail.
I think regardless of that, this is still a great show. Like, that's 2 for 2 this year, which is, like, honestly, I would put this at least on my short list for best of, because
I know it's nice to have WWE entries, because sometimes
I think especially last year we struggled, because in 2023 I think we really liked Mania, so at least like that was our token entry. But like, I think between these two we have a couple of genuine like contenders.
I agree,
and I think I would put the ending segment probably as like, I'd probably put that in like my short awards, you know, like as like a moment, because I think the segment is like the promo is kind of whatever.
I've already got it on the list as
but
something.
I would put it as moment, because I mean, what a thing that was.
It was. So yeah, really good show. Delivered beyond my expectations, so very happy to say that. But now we'll shift gears into stuff that we talk about every week. It's our most in-depth review every week. It's AEW Dynamite. Talk to me about Dynamite.
It's weird. I feel like we've already been here a while. It's like we're not even at Dynamite.
I know. So let's get moving.
Oh, this is the wrong one. There it is. Okay. I was on the one from last week because I was looking at our picks from Thingy Thing.
Yeah.
Another smaller venue, but I really dig the look this week. 'Cause I had balconies that kind of reminded me of Hammerstein.
Yeah.
Like, I do kind of like, obviously it's nice to have them in the big arenas every week, but I do like these venues that look visibly different.
It is nice.
That force them to have a smaller stage this week. You know, it's just like kind of changing things up. So I kind of dig it. It was cool looking. We get a promo from MJF in the streets, because they're in, I think it was Sacramento. He was talking about saying what he did to Christopher Daniels was light work. He said Hangman has got him wanting to prove a point to his Mark fan club. He said Paige wants to find him, then come find him in the streets of Sacramento. And he ended by saying, I think, like, what was it? He had like a bullet with Hangman's name on it or something. He was like yelling it repeatedly, getting really amped up.
Yes.
I like this. There was some great energy from him, and he got crazy amped at the end. Not a lot that was new, but
just nudging things along, I thought. But yeah, really good intensity from him.
Yeah. Then we move into Ricochet and Swerve's contract signing. Ricochet, he came out and he was in like a suit and
no robe.
He had a hat, no robe. Yeah.
And he said something about like there's alterations going on to the robe, so I wonder if he's gonna like have it at the pay-per-view and he's done something embarrassing to it.
Oh, I'm waiting for it.
I hope so.
I'm waiting for
it.
Yeah,
I know. They better deliver on that.
Ricochet, you said he'll see the robe at Revolution.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's getting some modifications done. You say he doesn't have to worry about Swerve's house being burned down at a contract signing, which I thought was a good reference. Because I forgot that's probably the last contract signing, at least with Swerve. Swerve told him to sign. He said Swerve's lucky that he's here. He reminded Swerve he started this and chose to mock Ricochet. He chose to get his fans to bully him. And in the face of all that, Ricochet still beat him. He's one step closer to achieving his goal of being an AEW World Champion. He says he's more focused than ever on Moxley and Copeland on that match. And he's focused on being who he's supposed to be, which is the World Champion. Then he signs. Swerve calls him a self-entitled prick, and he's annoying. He reminded Ricochet that he stole the robe and he stuck scissors in Swerve's head and left him a bloody mess. He said the mistake Ricochet made was that he left him breathing. He said at Revolution he'll put Ricochet in the ground. And he'll briefly be remembered because Swerve briefly revived his career, and he'd be remembered for his ring announcer wife, which was a pretty good one. He's about to leave. Ricochet goes to attack him with scissors again. Swerve blocks it. He scissors Ricochet with his own scissors. Yeah, that's a good way to say it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That is what happened.
Yeah. You get it.
I like this. It's Ricochet is doing like the really annoying heel, but also like flashes of being serious, right? Almost like
it's like it's so weird because for me it's like he's so good at being insufferably cocky and awkward, but it's like it's both really cringy and enjoyable. Like,
I know
it's like, oh, you're such a dork,
and you
but
know
it's
Swerve,
so good.
And Swerve is selling the whole like I just want to smack you. You're so frustrating.
I think that's what's so great about his character. Is like that's exactly what he is really.
It's
like he's
very
trying
believable.
To be cool, but it's like it just makes sense that he's like this he's like that annoying dude at school who won't shut up, and you just want to
get your hands on him, but you're waiting till it's like on the pay-per-view.
Or like you're off school property or whatever.
Right. So yeah, it's like Ricochet is exasperating in a good way, and he
like I hate it, but I love it.
And I like how he knows he has a captive audience in Swerve until he signs it, so he can say whatever he wants, and Swerve's just like, sign it. Like, just because when he signs it, you'll finally just shut up, right? And so Ricochet's like not signing until he's done saying what he has to say.
And I like the reference to the last contract signing too.
Yes.
And like, it's weird because it's one of those things where even though he's the heel, he's kind of right that Swerve chose to pick on him. But that's also ignoring the fact that he was being a prick.
Yeah, and it is.
I like that.
He's like, you've bullied me, and now I'm standing up to the bully.
Yeah.
From his perspective.
Yeah, and Swerve had some edge again too. I thought the Samantha dig was really slick, and all around I thought both guys sounded really good. And Swerve looked smart for having his own scissors.
And I think the scissor stabbing means this match has to be really violent, right? Is what we're gonna get.
Or
it's kind of Swerve's
I think
brand
there is going to be some
point.
Violence, but I feel like because there's no stipulation, we build to a stipulation match.
Maybe.
I feel like there's maybe one more in the chamber for Dynasty. So
let's count the matches that we're more excited about than the main event. This is one.
All right, this is one. Hangman MJF.
2. Takeshita Omega. 3.
Fletcher Ospreay.
4.
Okada Brody King.
For me, 5.
All right. I would say I'm about as excited for. I'll say I'm slightly more excited for Storm and May because it's Falls Count Anywhere.
So we're at the 7th.
We're at 6. I think.
But so it would be our 7th.
No, I think that would be
most anticipated match. No,
okay.
Because you said 6, so it would be behind all of those.
Oh.
So it would be the 7th.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Okay. I think the only matches I'm looking forward to less are Mercedes and Momo Watanabe because they haven't really built it, and then Outrunners.
Yeah.
With Hurts and
Yep.
So that's not great.
No, it's not.
My vision for this, though, not to... I guess it will kind of spoil my pick, but just because we're talking about the segment, I don't really care.
Yeah.
I feel like Swerve does have to get his win back, right? It
I
just
think
feels
so.
natural. He gets the title shot, which I think is good, but I think Ricochet, being how he is, he's not going to let that go. I think he's going to cost Swerve when he faces Mox.
Mm-hmm.
And then that'll set up that violent match I'm talking about.
I'm hoping... I hear people saying Nana's going to turn, and I hope that's not the case.
I think that would make zero sense.
Me too.
Based on the last segment we had before this. The whole... it just doesn't make sense.
Especially if Swerve wins and is refocused like Nana wants him to be. You know?
That makes zero sense. He's the one telling Swerve to get back focused,
mm-hmm.
and they have this bond. He's taking bullets for Swerve, and he's wants his road back. It just doesn't make sense.
I agree.
With the story they're telling. Then we get a big 8-man tag. It's Ospreay, Hobbs, Cassidy, Mark Briscoe against Brian Cage, or I should say Brian's Cage and Keith, Lance Archer, and Mark Davis. Brian Keith is back to his stupid Living Tree getup, and at least he was cool for a week.
He was. That was a cool match. I liked it last week.
Yeah. Cage does the thing where he curls Ospreay a few times, slams him down. Every member of the babyface team does crowd count punches to Cage. Cassidy only does one,
They were commentary is really leaning into the Mark Davis. Excalibur goes out of his way to say that Mark Davis is an unwilling participant in the Callis family. Callis is on commentary
Which they did get after the match, but I wasn't super picking up on that beforehand.
No, that's what I mean. It's and then Callis even says Davis works for me begrudgingly. So it's clearly
which makes sense, but I wish it was breadcrumbed more.
Yes, I agree.
Cage really cool.
It was a tell not show situation.
Yeah, tell then shown.
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah.
Cage really cool hit a delayed jackhammer, a stalling into a jackhammer. That was awesome. Ripcord into a spinning Uranagi to Cassidy from Archer. Cage turns a stalling suplex into a military press and slams Cassidy down because he's just ridiculous. Hobbs with a hot tag flurry, corner barrage to Davis from every babyface. Cassidy with a lazy elbow drop to Davis from Hobbs' shoulders. Hobbs got a 2 count, but Keith broke the pin. The finish came when Keith took an Oz cutter and then Ospreay nailed it him.
What a surprise. Keith got the pin.
Yep. Gets pinned by Ospreay for the second week in a row. Then Davis grabs Ospreay in a sleeper hold, chokes him out. Murder Machines take out Cassidy, hit their chokeslam powerbomb on the steel steps, which look pretty dope. Fletcher's music hits, he comes out. He definitely got more shredded. He's...
Oh my goodness. And he was super oiled up too.
Yeah, But he looked crazy this week. Davis clearly looks conflicted in the corner, which I thought was interesting. Murder Machines hold Ospreay for Fletcher to beat him down. He does a bunch, and then Davis kind of tries to calm him down.
Mm-hmm.
Fletcher yells at him. Ospreay gets held up against the ropes, and Callis gives a chair to Davis. He hits Ospreay with it, then he gets sent away, and then a brainbuster on a seated chair from Fletcher looks epic. Awesome. And so I guess we're heading in this match with a injured neck for Ospreay again, which is what we did with the first match.
Feels like Davis is going to help Ospreay to me, and be the difference.
Or they make him help Fletcher.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't think Ospreay should win.
But I feel like they're drawing our attention to it so much at the last minute here that it's for a reason. But I don't know. We'll see. I feel like they're telegraphing. Anyways, match-wise, the heels controlled the first part. Pace was slow, but physical. Like, I'm not saying slow bad. Faces took over. Ref lost control of things. Got much more exciting. Keith clearly there to take the pin. And I guess their plan was to really soften up Ospreay. So, and again, the story of the reluctant team member I thought was kind of just tell us about it, right? Kind of, which was not ideal for me. Brainbuster on the chair was awesome. Aftermath was pretty nuts. But it's like nobody on the roster wants to help Ospreay. Like nobody. Match was good. Didn't think it was great. It's not up to the standard of some recent tag matches on Dynamite, but I still thought it was good.
Not quite as good as the trios matches, but like the action was good though.
Yep.
And everyone played their part. The post-match stuff was simple, but the storytelling with Davis is kind of interesting. It's just out of the blue a bit. Like it should have been kind of built up a bit.
I agree.
But I don't think it's a bad story to tell. It's just like they kind of should have led up to it a bit more.
I agree.
I think I'm curious to see where it goes after Revolution because I think the reluctant Stable member is kind of interesting, and it's kind of what we've had with Yuta.
Mm-hmm. It is.
So, and we'll kind of get there as well.
Yep.
Again, Omega Takeshita hype package after wasn't much, just recounting history from DDT all the way through to Takeshita beating Omega twice. Nothing new here.
Just again, they're
TOE.
They're letting us know that, reminding us that Callis handpicked Takeshita to replace Omega, so it's like
he's better,
right? I think that's the idea. Yeah, it was a visually a good package.
TOE baby. Then we get Adam Copeland taking on Yuta. Yuta hit like an angle slam kind of thing for 2. Made a diving splash for 2. Copeland locked in a crossface, but he releases when Yuta counters into a pin for 2. Copeland with the Impaler DDT. He lines up a spear then, but Yuta meets it with the Psycho knee. Copeland gets knocked out of the ring, but Yuta rolls him back in, gets a 2 count. Yuta, he gets sent in the ropes. He does that thing where like he kind of like gets sent out, hangs on the ropes, tries to rebound, and he'll usually do the drop step German. But he gets met with a spear from Copeland, and Copeland is able to get the win as expected. He gets a mic, shakes Yuta's hand, and says this is what respect feels like. Then he leaves. Mox comes out to berate Yuta and kind of shove him around. Yuta kind of shoves him in the face back and then walks off. Mox holds him backstage and yells at him to keep walking. Then we get a promo backstage from Moxley. Right there, he says, congrats to Copeland.
I'm all alone.
Because he's all alone for Revolution, and Copeland thinks he's defenseless and can be picked off. He says Copeland's pissed him off and wasted his time and rattled his cage, but the bars were there for Copeland's safety, and he won't do anything in Revolution. Copeland will get his ass beaten. He deserves it. It'll make Mox feel good. He says Copeland tried to show Yuta respect with a handshake and says there's never been respect in this business. You can only get it by showing you're willing to pull the trigger, and he only has to do so once at Revolution.
Doesn't it feel like I'm all alone? Wink, not all alone, Yuta. This was a ruse. That's what it feels like to me.
I could see that, but there's also, even if it is legit, I feel like there's also a better way they could have gone about it.
I agree. So I thought this was a predictable win for Copeland. Obviously, the action wasn't good enough to sort of overcome that for me. And again, like...
I'm not, like, high on Copeland as in ring. Like,
no, me
his
either.
matches aren't bad. They're just never exceptional. Like, it's obviously way better than watching Jarrett. But.
I'm saying this every week, but this top heel faction just keeps losing to a 50-year-old man, and they continue to look no better or smarter than, like, mid-card heel factions, right?
When Mox has become a chicken heel.
Right. Nothing wrong with the match. Didn't do anything for me.
Fine.
I found myself, like, just kind of waiting for the finish with this one, and that's not high praise, obviously. Not much interest for me in Copeland or Death Riders at this point, and I know I should care about the Yuta post-match stuff, but I don't. They've had chances to elevate this guy, and they kind of did briefly, and I do hope he leaves Death Riders for his own sake, but I feels like a ruse to me.
Yeah. Like, I do like the stuff with Yuta, kind of, and it kind of gets some follow-up, because he didn't really want to join them in the first place, right? I just wish his bread come more, and with Hangman lately, they've shown they're still good at that. It just should have been implemented here, and same goes for Davis. Mox's promo backstage was solid, and like, so it's weird, because I don't mind that Copeland's gone to him. In fact, I think it makes sense, or it could make sense, because like Edge has always been kind of a mind games guy, so it kind of works, and all Mox's guys being taken out would logically make him a little paranoid, because usually he's got that kind of safety net.
Yeah.
I just would have liked it better if Mox wasn't chicken this whole time. Like, I think this still could have worked if, like, he was standing his ground and fighting back against Copeland, but Copeland still found ways, even with Jay White, but even though I don't like that, just whatever. If we're keeping the same, like, if Copeland and Jay White, they're fighting, and Mox isn't, like, running away from Copeland, but he's trying to take him out before the pay-per-view, and he's still failing, then I think Copeland being able to take his guys out with Mox trying his best,
yes,
it would make even more sense that Mox is going nuts,
Yep.
right? And that's assuming that this isn't a ruse like you're saying. But like I'm just saying if we want this to work better, this is how I would do it, because I don't think Mox should ever be a chicken heel. It just doesn't make sense, and like it feels very out of character for him.
Mm-hmm.
So like for me, he should be trying to take out Copeland every turn. And while I wouldn't love it, I think it'd be okay if like Copeland does manage to outsmart him, because then he's not a dumb babyface, right?
Yeah.
And then Mox is like, I tried everything, you still took all my boys. And then now this promo where he's going insane would make a lot more sense. You know what I mean? But it also works if like he's going nuts, but it's all a ruse and he's got something up his sleeve. Whether it's Yuta, whether it's the Death Riders being healthy, or whether it's a rumored heel Switchblade.
Please no.
It could be something. I do want heel Switchblade, just maybe not now.
No, and not as a Death Rider.
Definitely not as a Death
So
Rider.
the thing with Yuta though, right? Like we were into it in the beginning, but that's because we thought we knew what the Death Rider's vision was, and it was like,
and you don't kind of straight away from
you don't
that.
want to be with us. You have to be with us because you understand that we have to like purge AEW or make it
But
better
they kind
or
of
whatever.
stopped purging.
And then it's like that kind of stopped. So I don't really get why Yuta would stay with them. So, anyways, just kind of
Yeah, for sure.
underwhelming.
Agreed. Then we get a quick Outrunners video. It's just like the old stylized stuff, but
Like
I love
the aspect ratio.
They're working out.
The picture's not clear, like it's not high def.
Yeah. It's way more entertaining and enjoyable than anything Tony Storm does. And for me, it's committing to the bit in a way that doesn't make me feel stupid for enjoying it, and that doesn't make the others on the roster look stupid.
And as someone who lived through
it's not what we're saying, it's welcome.
As I lived through those times, it was something comforting about seeing all that stuff again. And it looked like it was just plucked from the 80s and 90s or whatever.
There's something about them that I just like, that Tony Storm. It's too
Well,
stupid.
we're not saying this is the face of the tag division.
No, even though they're getting a title shot. But it's clear it's not played as serious, though.
This
like
is
we know they have no
amusement.
shot.
Yeah.
We're not pretending like they're going to go on a generational
syndicate.
run, right? Yeah. Like, exactly. We're not making them a 4-time champion. Then we get MJF. He's still outside, but now Renee's interviewing him. MJF says he's the main character, not Hangman. But Hangman pulls up in his Longhorn car, tries to run over MJF. MJF runs off, and Hangman follows him outside. He follows him out to the entranceway, and he grabs this doppelganger who's dressed like MJF, but it's not him. It's someone MJF forced to cosplay as him.
It did look like him. They chose a pretty good lookalike, yeah.
Yeah, movie quality stunt double for sure. Yep. Then real MJF attacks him from behind. Went for the Heat Seeker. Page blocked it. Went for the buckshot. Low blow from a Hangman. Heat Seeker connects. He has a shirt that says MJF did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
I was thinking that would be a really funny shirt to wear out to, like that. And the Anxious One No Cowboys. It's like not really dirty or anything, but it's like it'd be funny because like it'd be like the people who say as a joke, like, did he do nothing wrong? It'd be like something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, so the shirt was funny. He beats down Page with punches. He takes out a few security guys. He tried to hit him with the diamond ring. Page tackled him. But then MJF gets back up, hits him with the ring shot. Then he grabbed the mic, and so the fans like it when Page burns things, so we'll see how they feel when he does it. So he grabs some lighter fluid, and pours it all over Page. And he lights a lighter, but then a bunch of security referees take him down. Then they like drag him out like just by his arms and legs, and he's like shouting like, "Let me prove my point!"
Yeah,
like I thought it was really funny.
Me too. One detail I liked is how terrified the MJF lookalike was when Hangman got his like just yelling and screaming like that's, and I thought that was it was a good brawl. MJF's intensity is adding a bit more to the program ahead of their match, and it's this idea that
I do like that, like Hangman's insane behavior not having repercussions is making MJF kind of go nuts.
MJF wants to do evil things to prove the double standard that Page is benefiting from, right? Like Page gets to do monstrous things, and the crowd still loves him, and that's pissing MJF off. Like we're sort of seeing like the hole that's within MJF. He just wants approval. And it kind of shows that deep down
he does, care about
and
the fans.
So it's
or
like
what they think, at least.
It's like Hangman's complexity is revealing some additional complexity to MJF's character, and it's really working for both of them, right? So yeah, I thought this was cool, and MJF just like the fact that he is vilified so much, and he's not wrong. Page does stuff that's worse than what he does, and everyone still loves him. And how the hell does that work? and what does he have that I don't have, and it's like that insecurity of MJF, right?
Which
and
we've seen before, right?
It's really cool.
So I like that that's getting brought out again for
Me
sure.
too.
And I thought like the guy terrified shouting "He made me do it" was amusing.
I love that.
The shirt was amusing. I thought like MJF getting carried out like a tantrum throwing toddler was really funny too. Like he was getting dragged out like, let me prove my point.
Yeah.
I thought that was really great. But I like this too, and like I think you made a good point about like Hangman's such a great character. I think he's making already a great character in MJF better.
It's adding another layer to
right.
MJF.
Which is great. And I'm glad MJF didn't actually burn Hangman, because the last time a wrestling match involved a man actually burning someone, it didn't go great.
It did not.
Shout out Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt.
That's right.
But yeah, like I like that. And for me, there's kind of a parallel between MJF and Hangman. It's like he's making a valid point.
He's
like,
not wrong.
Like Hangman was also right for being mad at Swerve for invading his house and threatening his little baby child. But then the actions that follow, his valid point does not justify the actions. Like MJF is right, but it doesn't justify him trying to burn a guy, right?
Yeah.
So I do kind of like the kind of parallels there.
Me too.
Then we get something with the director of the Mildred Burke movie. Storm gets brought in. There's some joke about her nude scene being cut. The only thought I had, because I don't like this character so much, is that shouldn't she want to wrestle Mildred Burke because she's an old time caricature and an idiot?
That's probably gonna happen now.
Inconsistent. Will Washington.
I just have, you took a character I can't stand and had her shill for a movie I have no interest in. Minus segment. But short at least.
Then we get Statlander and Thunder Rosa against Megan Bayne and Penelope. I was going to say Bayne got hosed in the tag partner department, but I don't think Statlander got off great either. It's just Rosa's more notable, but I don't really like her either.
No.
Rosa hit a really loud overhand chop to Ford, though.
Yes.
And then a basement dropkick against the ropes. Bayne catches Rosa out of a middle rope, diving crossbody. Lifts her into a fireman's carry, chucks her over the ropes onto Statlander, and then she throws Ford onto both baby faces. Rosa's in peril. Statlander hot tag flurry. Rosa steps off Statlander's back to his shotgun dropkick to Ford in the corner. And then the finish comes when Bayne does nail a pretty nice F5 to Rosa to pick up the win.
Yeah.
I felt like it was solid, right?
There was good action, but like the ref did nothing to control this. Ford and Bayne were in the ring together for minutes leading to the finish, right?
Which usually isn't a problem, but like...
And then I think I make a note later in a match where the ref is stopping people, so it's just like consistency would be nice, right? I'm glad Bayne's keeping her momentum going.
Yeah, I think
and I'm also glad Rosa's the one that took the pin. So I thought it was a solid match, but nothing fantastic. Just more showcase for Bayne, and Statlander looked athletic as hell, as she usually does, right?
Solid but unspectacular for sure. Like Bayne really shows out again. A really cool powerhouse for the division. Someone to focus on this year, I think. Yep. I would still really like another match between her and Statlander, and one with like an actual feud, because I think there's still a ton of mileage
behind it. Yes.
I think there's a ton of mileage you could still get out of that.
I agree.
Then we get Mercedes Moné interview. She's beat Momo before. No stopping the Money Train. She's going to watch Momo and Deeb on Collision. Money changes everything.
Every Monet segment feels copy and pasted, does it not?
Yeah. And
it's always
I
with
do
Renee.
like her matches, but if I'm going to, like, this was the issue with Cargill in AEW. So
just the
I'm
same.
going to have to give her the same.
You're right. Cargill was always the same.
It was, I don't remember what it was, but it was always her and Sterling and the baddies. Like, I forget, she's that bitch. Like, TBS is that bitch show or whatever. Like, that's what it was. She had the same shtick every time.
The cocky heel stuff is just, like, repetitive. And I think Renee looks kind of stupid joining in on the catchphrases and stuff.
And I usually like Renee a lot.
So this is just like, I feel like, sorry, is this different than last week? Is it different than the week before that?
Not.
Maybe it's a different target in some of them, but it's the same stuff.
Yeah, that's, like, I wrote this was fine, nothing, I had nothing.
It's stale to me at this point.
Max Caster, open challenge next. He cuts his usual spiel. He does have a new theme now. He says the fans are looking at the best wrestler alive. Everyone's talking about him. He tries to start a chant for himself, but he gets booed. Jay White is the one to accept the challenge. He comes out. Caster tries to start the chant again, goes at White, down with the Blade Runner immediately. White mocks that chant and covers him for the win. White grabs the mic, says at World, Send Copeland join the fight against the Death Riders, and since then they've had each other's backs.
Nope.
He says Mox is now alone, and at Revolution he will be there to see the new AEW World Champion, Cope.
So, I don't know about Max Caster's thing. Like, is it working? I don't think the crowd's responding quite the way he wants.
I think he was getting booed. For me,
what's
it's just
the payoff?
I don't think there is one. I think it's just the squash match angle trope, but now with someone we know.
Remember when he was in the hottest tag team in wrestling? Right? Anyways.
I mean, I don't really care that much, but it is something worth noting.
So it's just a squash match, and I don't like the White Copeland situation either. We've talked about it a lot. It feels forced to me. Again, if White turns heel, and we were talking about it in the moment, we need the Guns to come out. We need Juice to come out if he can, and they're a heel group, but not aligned with the Death Riders, please.
He can turn heel, because, like, I've always said he's a better heel than he is a babyface, but he can't join the Death Riders.
No.
Like, for me, I was saying to you, I feel like the storyline hasn't always been hitting, but I feel like he's been super logical most of the time. Like,
yeah.
Because I remember liking in the build to the 4-way, he was talking about how it was a necessity for him to work with casting Hangman, even though he didn't want to.
Yep.
And him working with Copeland, I don't love that either, but he pitches it as like a necessity. So he kind of makes me buy things, right? And like I feel like everything he said is like pretty logical.
And we like him. It keeps him in the main event storyline. So that's not nothing, but
I just like, I feel like him joining the Death Riders would make zero sense because he's trying to get the title. You join Mox, that's not happening.
You're right.
He's trying to take the Death Riders. You join, like, it just doesn't make sense, right? And I can see why people are expecting a heel turn because it's so weird that out of the blue he's like, oh, I'm going to be a Revolution to watch Copeland win. You know what I mean? Like,
as soon as he's like, we've got each other's backs, I'm like, oh, no, you don't.
It's weird, right?
Yeah.
And I'm more than okay with him turning heel because I think him and the rest of the Bang Bang Gang are born heels.
Yeah.
But he can't align with Christian or Mox. It makes zero sense for a guy who's been so logical most of the time.
I agree. I'm hoping he just separates himself.
I do want him as a heel eventually, but that would be like when he's either going for the title against someone else or when he's champion, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like, I would rather him just stay as babyface for now than turn heel in a way that I don't like.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because while I do think he's better as a heel,
he's good as a babyface.
He's a really good babyface. Yep. Yeah. Then we get the Mariah May, Tony Storm sit down interview.
Yeah, we do.
A no physicality thing. May spit on Storm right away.
I like that. That's her loophole for the no physicality. I'll just spit on you the second it starts. Yeah.
She said the title is nothing without her and Storm's nothing without her. She said they'll both go down together. She'll be the sickest bitch you've ever seen. She's the woman from hell and she's going to drag Storm with her. She said it'll be a trilogy with Storm's greatest co-star. She said they could have a Hollywood ending that they dreamed of. Storm is like just flat face and she just has this weird delivery to her. She says May didn't deserve death. She said May's career will continue and she will be liked but not loved. She said she'll be replaced and forgotten. One day, many years from now, people will wonder what happened to her. They both stood up and they both said pray for her.
Okay, so this is weird, but I've preferred Storm's. I didn't like it. I don't know. Mariah May delivered the hell out of it, but I don't get where this, like, back to being overly dramatic and I love you and, like, I don't get that. But I did like Tony Storm going, your punishment is to forever, like, be mediocre.
I don't like it because
people will like you but never love you.
May is getting so invested in this. I think her delivery with everything is great, and then Storm's just there with this stupid blank expression on her face, like it's like a parent's berating a child, and the child's like trying to act like they're not affected by it. And it's just like, and it's just the old Tommy monotone. It just reeks of that cartoony phoniness. Like I don't dislike what you're saying, like the sentiment of the media. Like I think that's fine, but it's just like. The delivery, I hate it. It's just,
I don't get May's
she
sudden...
feels fake.
Sudden, like...
I could see
I'm
it as
back
her
to
playing
loving
into
you
it.
And, like...
Well, I don't think she is, obviously.
I don't know.
But, like, I
Didn't
just...
sit right
I
with me.
can't buy with Storm. I think May is right because she's better in every way. This just, to me, highlights the issue with Storm being champion again.
I just would have preferred if May...
Didn't lose.
Was the woman from hell. The woman from hell isn't like, it's going to be the third act of our thing and I love you and this is all, like, that's not a woman from hell.
Well, like, I don't know. I could see it as, like, because her whole thing has been how they're enabling this sick woman. I think eventually you have to go a little loopy.
I guess.
But I prefer that over cartoony, stupid Tony Storm.
But she was less cartoony here. This was just her...
Even still, it feels like it reeks of it to me. Like, it's just, nothing about it feels legitimate.
I kind of like the more hysterical you get, the calmer I get and just go like, history will just reveal that you're mediocre and that's your fate. I thought it was okay.
Because she's not mediocre. That's like heel logic.
I know. That's true.
Then we moved to our main event, which is Okada and Ricochet against Swerve and Brody King.
Where did the Brody King Okada stuff come from?
Collision.
Okay, I thought so.
I think it's just funny that Ricochet and Okada faced off in the C2 semis not super long ago, and now they're teaming up here.
Right.
And I would say it's because Ricochet turned heel, but he was already kind of healing it up by the time he faced Okada.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember Okada was getting cheered in that match because people hated Ricochet so much.
That's
right. Ricochet tags in, he and Okada gang up on Swerve. Okada and Ricochet get seated on a chair against the barricade, and King hits the running crossbody.
Of course.
King holds Okada and Ricochet on his shoulders. Pretty crazy strength. Swerve hits a double stomp to hit both of them at the same time. King hits a senton to Ricochet, and Swerve hits his diving uppercut to Ricochet's back. Brody King hot tag flurry. Ricochet takes a big back body drop.
Crowd loves Brody in this.
Death Valley driver from King on Okada for 2. Ricochet breaks the pin. King dumps him out of the ring. Drop kick from Okada and a springboard splash from Ricochet to King for 2. Ricochet tags in as King's down, but runs back to the corner when Swerve tags in. Okada's down, so Ricochet's stuck there, and Swerve goes on a flurry. I thought that was pretty funny. Swerve went for the powerbomb, like the lift into the power slam. Ricochet countered really nice into a DDT for 2. Ricochet gets absolutely spiked on Swerve's roll through flatliner, a real flatliner.
Mm-hmm.
Then Swerve hits a house call. Swerve stomp connects on Ricochet. Okada breaks the pin with a dive. Okada grabs the Continental title, gets clocked with a house call, but the finish comes on Ricochet. As the ref is distracted, Swerve does get nailed with a belt shot, and Ricochet picks up a win over Swerve once again.
Yeah, so Ricochet sort of ramped up from accidentally cheating to now like intentionally cheating, which I think is a nice... This is the match where the ref really tries to do their job and clear people out of the ring after we watch Aubrey not even make an attempt in the women's tag. So I'm like, neither one bothers me, but kind of pick one. You know what I mean? Will Washington.
That's fair. I agree.
Love the reaction for Brody. I don't know if it's like where he's from or whatever, but the crowd loved him.
He seems to be decently over just in general.
He does.
And like the barking thing seems to be over just between him and Braun Breaker both doing it.
People love to bark. Really good tag team match. Again, Ricochet intentionally cheating this time to beat Swerve again, which I think also indicates where that match is going on pay-per-view.
I agree.
Swerve and King, I thought, worked really well together.
I agree. I said they have untapped potential as a tag team because they comboed some really cool stuff, I think.
And the crowd liked them together. Really loved when King was destroying Ricochet for a stretch. And I'm interested in both of the singles matches that are coming out of this. So
I agree.
I enjoyed, like, again,
it's the pay-per-view preview trope, right?
It
was really good.
It's not an important match for for the main event of a TV show. Again, Raw kind of outdid them on that category this week, but a very enjoyable tag match for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And I thought the action picked up towards the end. I think the finish works. Ricochet takes the easy way out, gets another win over Swerve because he's probably losing at Revolution. And I thought he was the highlight of the match too because everyone was great in ring. Everyone got time to shine, but he also got to do some of his more of his Weasley character work.
Yep.
So I like that.
Really good. Overall, I don't think it was the strongest go-home show. Main event was really good. Other matches didn't really hit that hard.
I would have liked more for Osprey and Fletcher. Even I guess we did get that, but I was hoping for a segment with them.
And no Omega, right, at all?
Just a package.
Yeah.
That was a little disappointing.
Death Rider stuff is still a miss for me. But there are a lot of matches I'm looking for.
Hangman MJF was pretty.
I went B- this show. Like, it was fine. I didn't love it.
I was a little higher, I think, but as a go home, I do think it is a little lacking a bit. I'd almost drop it, but I'll keep where I'm at a B.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's reasonable. All right, now we'll shift gears, do a little bit of trivia before we talk about more wrestling from the week. We call this segment Off the Top of His Head. Okay, so what did you say that I said that might come up later?
I don't even know if that registered.
It was something about the video game that you could do. You could kick someone through something.
The barbershop?
Yes. So this week we're looking at, I asked an AI site for the 20 biggest heel turns in the history of pro wrestling.
Sure.
So I think they get easier as we go, but I'm still going to count down from 20. So number 20, we'll see if you can get it from when and where it happened. SmackDown, November 2018.
Daniel Bryan.
Correct. And this brought about, so do you have any details? If
he kicked AJ in the balls and then won the title.
Right, and that created the Planet's champion, right?
Yeah.
Came out of that. Good. All right, so that's how it's going to work. WWE Raw 2004.
Evolution.
No. Hint. The Impact created a deeply personal and real-life infused feud.
Edge.
Yes. Edge what?
And Lita.
Good. 18. This was a good one. SmackDown, September 2019. It's one I actually remember.
SmackDown, September 2019.
Mm-hmm. Longtime babyface. Attacked Becky Lynch.
What?
That's what they're saying.
Sure.
Destroyed one of her signature things.
What? In 2019?
Maybe it's wrong. I don't know. A heel turn I enjoyed. A woman. She slashed her inflatable stuff.
Oh, Bailey?
Yeah.
She didn't attack Becky Lynch.
Was it 2019 though?
Yes.
Okay, so.
But that was before a match with Charlotte.
Oh, sorry, maybe they got that part wrong. NWA Starrcade 1987.
Ric Flair?
Helping to establish the Horsemen as the ultimate heel group.
Flair?
No. Who joined them?
Pillman?
No.
Arn Anderson?
No.
Paul Roma?
Lex Luger. Good Lord. You don't know anything. Survivor Series War Games 2022.
Oh, Sami Zayn.
Correct. All right. I was going to be like, are these all wrong?
He was already a heel, though. That was just like because they were teasing him turning face and then he didn't.
Well,
so it's not really a heel turn.
NXT TakeOver Chicago.
Ciampa.
Correct. He destroys Johnny Gargano.
World's greatest heel turn.
Royal Rumble 1994.
Oh, Owen Hart.
Correct. Betrays Brett.
Kicked his leg out of his leg.
Right. Bragging Rights 2009.
That could literally be anyone. I don't know what happened on those
After
shows.
losing a fatal four-way match, person attacked his friend Rey Mysterio.
Batista.
Correct. Saying, I'm going to rip your head off.
That's not what I thought you were going to say. That's not good.
Survivor Series 1998. Deadly Game Tournament.
I guess, would the heel turn be Rock or would it be Vince?
Rock, they said. Rock joins the corporation.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
WWE Raw, June 2008. Someone got their face smashed into a TV screen.
Oh, Jericho.
Good. And who did he smash?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Shawn Michaels, right?
HB Shizzle.
WWF SummerSlam 1996. Manager betrays wrestler.
Oh, Bearer turned on Taker.
Correct.
Yeah. I was like, I have no idea.
Number 9. Halloween Havoc 1995.
Oh, Jimmy Hart.
No.
Turns on Hogan.
No.
Giant.
No.
The Yeti.
Someone faked an injury.
Oh, I don't know.
Convinced Sting to team with him only to betray him mid-match.
Flair?
Correct.
Okay.
To rejoin the Horsemen.
Okay. Yeah, it's that one where like he just turns on right away.
WWE Raw, June 27th, 2011.
2011.
Super famous.
Punk?
Yeah. Pipe bomb.
As a heel. I feel like it was already a heel.
SummerSlam 1999.
Oh, the hell do I know? Mark Henry?
No.
I swear he turned heel. No.
Turned his back on a very famous group, aligning with Vince McMahon.
Triple H?
Yes, launching his game career, they're saying.
I'm pretty sure he turned heel on Mania before that, but...
Here's a hard one. Survivor Series 1997.
I guess, is it Sean or is it Vince?
They're saying Vince.
Okay, that makes sense.
Vince screws Brett. This one you'll know. This is where they get easy. WWE Raw, June 2nd, 2014.
Rollins.
Correct. Rollins turns on the Shield. Piper's Pit leading to WrestleMania 3. Andre turns on
rips
Hulk.
Off the shirt.
WrestleMania X7.
Austin.
Yep.
That one gets like derived, which honestly, like looking back on it, is kind of fair.
Just because people did not want that guy as a heel.
Well, it just didn't. Yeah, and it didn't work out. It also doesn't really make sense.
Number 2, WWF Wrestling Challenge. Barbershop segment.
Oh, okay.
Michaels super kick Jannetty. Number 1, guess what it is? Not Cena, because it's too recent. Number 1 heel turn ever. Come on.
Kevin Owens. Oh, Hulk Hogan.
Oh my God. Kevin Owens is number 1 and not Hulk Hogan joins NWO. Yes. Very good. All right, that was fun. I just thought that was a timely one to talk about. So now we will turn back to the week of wrestling. Anything we liked, didn't like, notable, whatever we want to talk about. It's high spots and rest holds. Starting with Raw, I watched it all again. So obviously, to summarize, I'm trying to get better at really shortening these down a little bit. We get multiple reactions to the Cena turn, right? Lots of fan stuff, including coverage from international commentary teams freaking out.
I saw that, yeah.
In the moment as well. Kind of cool. Again, just it's a super important, huge moment, right? So we're getting that point across, and they do that throughout the show. We get a CM Punk promo to start. He is super pissed. He comes out, kind of clears off the announce table, stands on there in really weird, ugly shoes that made him like 8 inches taller, I think.
I actually did watch a decent bit of this promo.
It was good.
I liked it.
He calls Rock a bald fraud. Says The Rock thinks because he's on the board of directors, that means he's immune from criticism.
And the midlife crisis line was a Rollins line.
Calls him Mr. Midlife Crisis.
Rollins
Trashes him for walking in when he feels like it and hiding behind the fact that he thinks he's a bigger star than everyone else. That Rock pretends to care about the business, carries a pathetic fake title. So, and even like the whole goosebump thing, right? It's like he's taken Drew's role of just telling the truth.
I do like, I did like his most of it. The one thing I didn't like was that he was saying like, I've never been so desperate as to carry on a fake title. He did do that.
He did do that.
That's the last thing he did in AEW.
Just not here, so they don't. Didn't happen.
Obviously, but just don't tell me you've never done that. But I did like him mocking the goosebumps thing. Like, generally speaking, for a Punk promo, I did really like it.
Yeah,
because it did feel kind of like, for me, it did feel like something he would actually be annoyed about, and it was actually kind of right.
Yes.
Considering I'm not
He's
really
not wrong.
I'm not big on Rock, so it does kind of work for me, just given the different factors.
Then he puts the target crosshairs on Cena, talking about him selling out and basically selling the fans and kids 20 plus years of BS.
I liked his Make-A-Wish line too.
I can't remember what that was.
He's like, I'm gonna get my
make
hands
a
on
wish
both of you,
yeah,
and you're gonna make a wish that I didn't, which I thought was kind of cool.
He starts talking about Rollins, that Becky Lynch better get her man because if Punk gets his hands on him, he's gonna put him in a wheelchair. Rollins' music hits. He comes out, and they just have the mother of all pull-aparts. Like,
I've seen complaints that he does like a pull-apart brawl like every week.
Crowd loves it. It goes on forever. They have the most useless security in the world. It's like two guys repeatedly escaping from like more than a dozen people, right?
Yeah, it's always kind of happening though.
The crowd was into it though. They would brawl again later in the show, get pulled apart again, and then still a bit later, Pierce makes a Punk Rollins cage match official for next week, and then makes Rollins leave the building for the night, and that should be a good match, right? With some heat behind it, with the stipulation on it.
I would almost consider watching it.
Yeah, that'll be. I'm sure that's the main event next week. That should be good. Good fire from Punk. I can't stand the guy, but he was telling the truth throughout, and it was good intensity.
Yeah,
so
hate to give devil his due, but I did like it.
Balor and Liv are still doing like a little passive-aggressive dance with each other backstage. More talk of adding a member. Balor still says no. I did like because Balor's like congratulates her on winning the titles, but then has to point out like, but you lost in the chamber sort of thing.
And got her ass beat. Like,
yes.
Yeah, she's all marked up. Man.
Yeah. Balor leaves. Liv says that she had nothing to do with Jade's attack, just to sort of remind us. And again, this group has been copy and pasted for weeks now, too. It's like, we need a new member. No, we don't.
They're managing to
we kind of have tension, but we're not letting it boil over. So it's kind of the same segment over and over. Gunther heads to the ring with a mic, calls Otis a freak and a clown like Jey Uso. Gunther wears the world title as a belt, and Otis can't find a belt that fits, was one of the lines he said. Gunther then beat Otis with a short clothesline powerbomb in about 8 minutes of their match. Fine match. We knew the result. It was about what you would expect between the two. Jey Uso runs down after the match to save Otis and Tozawa. He spears Gunther out of the ring, but then Waller and Theory take that opportunity to attack Jey Uso from behind. I forget exactly what happens, but Gunther ends up coming back to choke out Jey Uso here. So I love Gunther, but it feels like there's just too much time between this match being announced and the match taking place. There's way...
It's because there's no depth to this feud, because guess what? There's zero depth to Jey Uso.
Right. And Gunther's not wrong by going, you're not on my level, like, you're a clown, but it's like the same. They've had Too much time in between and no real solid plans.
And Gunther's great. It's just there's only so much you can do in this scenario, I feel like.
And so Waller, in theory, cut a promo later saying they would sell out for The Rock, and it looks like it's going to be Waller facing Uso next week, I assume, or at some point. Karrion Kross is trying to get into AJ's head backstage. AJ sees it coming.
Karrion Kross looks so different these days. It's so weird.
So did you see an observation a fan made? And Kross said that, like, basically you're right. So when he's talking to the person, he's mimicking their hairstyle. When he was trying to get in Sammy's head, he had like the half up bun on top. When he's talking to AJ,
that why his hair looks weird and straight?
He had it long and straight like AJ. And so he commented something along the lines of like, you're very observant or something like that. So it's like,
you should talk to someone bald.
And this whole gimmick where he like never wrestles and just tries to cause trouble, I kind of enjoy it.
And if that's to wrestle,
and it's like it's basically like, and I make myself kind of look like you, so you're more accepting of it or whatever.
Like I said, it reminds me a lot of Devil's Advocate, but like obviously a PG modern version.
He's just a Machiavellian villain. Like he's just causing trouble to cause trouble.
He was a better wrestler.
I have some time for him doing this. Yeah, and he's not wrestling, so it's not the end of the world.
Apparently, it doesn't always have to culminate in a match.
That's right. Exactly.
So,
Lyra Valkyria won another match, beat Ivy Nile in a 7-minute match.
Good for her.
We had Nile targeting Lyra's leg, which the selling was intermittent. She would do some really good job selling, and then it was like, I'm landing kicks and hitting power moves that require my legs a lot. So the match was okay. Lyra won with the Nightwing. Kaiser heads to the ring with a mic to demand gratitude for winning the triple threat last week. He says after...
I can hear him saying it in my head because he's just got like that,
yes,
that promo tone.
After Kaiser's done with him, Penta will know what fear feels like. Penta runs down, attacks Kaiser, culminating a somersault dive by Penta onto the floor. And I say it every week, I really like Kaiser and Dunn. But Penta, when does he move on? What's he doing for Mania?
Phoenix.
You think so?
Maybe.
His own brother shows up?
How about we just do something Pete Dunne and Penta can go somewhere else?
I don't think that's how Penta's the star out of that bunch, unfortunately.
Nah.
In an interview, Bianca Belair avoids talking about Cargill-Naomi situation. She's just like, I want to talk to each of the women first. I don't want to blah, blah, blah. So you haven't yet, is what you're saying? Anyways.
It's only been 2 days.
And your best friend or whatever. Chad Gable, did you see this vignette? So he's shown walking around
about it, I think.
Somewhere in Mexico asking different people. He's holding up a piece of paper, or it's either a name or a picture, and people really don't want to answer him. And then there's some old mysterious guy and basically saying that Gable must become Lucha. And then he has a little box, and he keeps taking more and more money from Gable to sell the box. Gable opened the box, takes something out of it, but we don't see it. And
I heard someone say it was like a Lucha mask.
Everyone in the world is assuming it's a luchador mask.
But that's gonna help him.
What else could it be?
That just seems stupid.
He has to become Lucha. So
that just seems
step
stupid.
1, get mask.
That just seems dumb.
He's
gonna be wait, what's Spanish for short guy?
Super stylish stylish segment. Pretty silly storyline, but again, I got room for silly in a 3-hour show, so not a huge deal.
I'll get back to you on this.
The Creeds lose again to the War Raiders. Pretty good match again. Brutus hit a 450, kind of clunky, but you saw Julius's shooting star.
Hombre Bajo?
There you go.
Or I'll try another one.
You saw Julius's shooting star?
Brock Lesnar style.
Looked pretty awesome. He hits it really well.
If you want to do midget guy, you could go Chico Enano.
Ivar hit that running crossbody that he stole from Brody King up against the ring apron. It does look good, though.
I feel like he is probably doing it first.
Maybe.
I don't know. Because I feel like... I'm just saying that because I feel like he's been wrestling longer. I don't know when he started doing it, per se.
Brutus took the War Machine after 12 minutes for the loss. Crowd's into it. Good tag match. These teams are having a feud with no real story. Other than, like, you're the champs and we're not.
It's like when we complain in the women's division about them not having feuds inside the belt. This is just like, that's basically what the tag division is.
How many tag teams are on Raw?
These two.
LWO?
LWO. A-Town Down Under.
Okay, we got 4. That's more than I thought.
No, I
can do this.
It's a
struggle.
I can do this.
New Day?
New Day, yeah.
Got 5. Okay, that's a division. I'll give them
5.
that. Felt like less.
Five's not even really much of a division, though.
No.
You can only shuffle the belts around so much. Judgment Day.
Okay.
They were champs recently.
Yeah, 6.
They were champs recently. Then, like, I don't know.
That's a division.
They split New Catch. Imperium's been dusted for a while. Like, I don't know. Tag teams are not thriving right now.
Speaking of which, LWO talk about their issues with New Day. Ray says that next week he and Dragon Lee will face New Day in a tornado tag match, and then they say New Day sucks in Spanish and English, I think, to end it. I mean, I guess at least it's the 2 LWO members with the highest profile, but like,
it's a different stipulation, I guess.
New Day are another act that need to get things going. New Day, LWO is not a needle mover, and they need something else to do at Mania because it's coming up in a month or whatever. I don't know. Braun Breaker in an interview backstage as he mocks the members of Judgment Day. I feel like they're trying to position him as a babyface for whatever he's doing, which I think is Balor, it looks like, right? Because then we get Balor in the ring. He says that Braun is only the Intercontinental Champion because Judgment Day allowed him to be. And then Braun says that last week he embarrassed all of Judgment Day. Balor claimed he chewed up rookies like Braun while claiming he was untouchable and that he can take the title anytime he wants. He accuses Braun of hiding backstage, which isn't smart. So obviously Braun heads to the ring. To set up, Carlito and Dom try to take Braun out. They fail. Balor hits a sling blade to Braun, but Braun ends up hitting a press slam, and Judgment Day sort of pull Balor out of the ring before he can take the spear from Braun Breaker. So good job. They're progressing this angle. They're establishing Breaker as a babyface. They had Braun say not too much and engage in physicality, which is probably a good move because speaking's not his strong point. But we're getting Balor Breaker, which good match, but I can't imagine any world where Balor wins. You're getting Braun his Mania win, defending a title, right?
I would love it if Balor won.
I don't think he will.
No.
The main event we talked about is Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. It almost got 20 minutes. I thought it was really good. Bianca Belair comes down to watch from the announce table. Io, as I said, hit signature moves of, I think, everyone in Damage Control. Ripley did kind of drop Io on her head trying to counter a Rana into a powerbomb, but there was some cool physicality in this. Ripley was swinging Io into the apron. Io hit a sunset flip bomb onto the barricade. Io got slammed on the ring apron and the announce table. So just different stuff other than their usual signature thing, just to sort of sell that this was a competitive, important match. Io hits her moonsault to the back for a near fall. Ripley gets a foot on the ropes. At one point, then Belair is openly encouraging Io Sky, and Ripley is not happy about that. They shove each other back and forth. The ref's like, hey, save it for whatever. Ripley climbs the ropes. Looks like it's an avalanche riptide coming. She takes a little bit of time to talk some more trash to Belair. That allows Io to counter with the Hurricane Rana, follow up with a moonsault, and win the title. Again, I was very surprised by that. That was not what I was expecting. Really good TV main event with an outcome I was not expecting. Feels like a triple threat for WrestleMania, which should be really good and just something a little bit different. Io's awesome. We already said it. We're really happy for her winning the title again. Really good main event. I thought it was very good. It wasn't perfect. There was a couple little bits along the way, but overall, really entertaining stuff.
I saw that every episode of WTV this week ended with a title change because LA Knight just took the U.S. title back from Nakamura, which what a waste of a title run.
Did nothing.
He didn't do crap. So
had a new character we thought was kind of cool. Nothing.
Told you they were just gonna waste him again. They'd like to give him a mid-card belt, then drop the ball, and then forget about him again.
Yep. NXT show was, by the time I got to it, an hour and 15 minutes long on Netflix. So that is very digestible. Sol Ruka and Zarya beat Piper.
I still don't understand how they cut so much.
Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. There you go. Pretty good opening tag. Chelsea Green got busted open somewhere along the way, had blood all over her face. I told you the baby faces now have a doomsday device, which is a moonsault by Ruka to take them off Zarya's shoulders, which looks pretty good. Zarya F5's Niven onto Green, Soul Snatcher to Green. When she gets up, it's over after 10 minutes. Kind of felt shorter than 10 to me. I will say the combination of Zarya's power and Ruka's athleticism is working. And they're starting to come up with some unique tag offense. Again, I just think it's too early for Zarya to be doing this, but it's not that it's not working or that it's bad. And they continue to build momentum, right? They're beating main roster teams, so that's a feather in their cap for sure. Trick
and
Williams.
pinning the mid-card champion again.
That's right. Oh, yeah, she never wins, eh? Trick Williams is really angry with Ava about Eddie Thorpe's situation. Uriah Connors and Kale Dixon walk in to give Ava, like, she has a new office, so they have some office supplies for her. Trick is annoyed by their interruption, tells them to go bug Mr. Chase. Kale says Trick is the reason Chase U isn't around anymore. Trick sort of gets mad, pins him up
how
against...
does that work?
Pins him up against the door. That'll lead to a match.
Oh, because he made the match with Bridge and
that's right.
Chase. Okay. Yeah.
My girl Jada Parker defeated Kalani Jordan in a good match. Crowd was into it. I wasn't sure who was going to win, so I like that. Kalani definitely working more aggressively. Same athletic moves, but it's like the stuff in between is a little more intense. She hits a top rope Spanish fly, and this one looked good. Kalani misses 450. Jada immediately drills her with the hypnotic for a win after 13 minutes. Good back and forth match. Each woman got to showcase their offense. Kind of a nice contrast in styles, right? The athletic high flyer and kind of the smash mouth power of Jada Parker. Kalani took a lot of risks in this, and everything was executed cleanly, which is not always the case with her. And good match for two women. I think they both have a bright future in WWE for sure. Tony is back, and he makes the calls. So the underboss has been relieved of his responsibilities, I guess. He'll face Spears regardless of the condition of his back. I felt like that's just like, by the way, my back's hurt, wink, wink. There's a target for Spears, right? Okay. Femi has... So they did this thing where it's like a mock press conference, and it's like we're just catching the tail end of it. So Femi goes...
Yeah, didn't they do that before? I think it was before the CW premiere.
Oh, was it?
Something like that.
Yeah.
It was something.
Oh, I
something
do
big,
remember.
right?
Same vibe to it.
A bunch of people talked.
Yeah, so Femi's talking. He says Moose matches him in size, but Femi has to win. He can't allow a TNA wrestler to run around with the title on his shoulder. Basically, there's a little more than that, but not much. Pretty interesting matchup. Who wins?
Femi.
Yeah, I think Femi has to.
Moose
right?
doesn't really have much to lose other than the belt, but like Femi's the one on the rise. So.
Right. I think so too. Same thing for Moose later in the show. It's just like, and we get the last question. He just says he's a prize fighter and fights for the biggest prize in the game. Oba can be the ruler, but he won't be the champion because Moose is leaving with 2 titles. Ava comes out and awkwardly says that she'll take one more question. And it's Fallon Henley basically ranting and raving, wanting to know where her rematch is.
I saw someone post that and say, like, she's the biggest Nepo baby.
Oh, ever. She has 0 talent. Like, all things wrestling, it's like she's never done any of them.
Yeah, she's just...
It's tough.
Horrible.
Hardy's get an in-ring promo. They suck up to the fans. They get interrupted by Hank and Tank in skin-tight jorts. Was worth noting. They get booed, but want to thank the Hardys and ask for advice on how to get to the next level. Hardys advise them to take things to the extreme and get outside their comfort zone. Jeff says some more meaningless motivational stuff. Then Matt talks about stepping up to big challenges. Briggs and Inamura come out next. Briggs accuses Hank and Tank of kissing Hardy ass. Briggs says they're taking the next title shot, and if Hank and Tank don't like it, they should do something about it. Hank and Tank dive onto them. They brawl up the ramp as Fraxium show up behind the Hardys. In 7 days, Fraxium will bring their best. They fist bump the Hardys. I thought the interaction was fine, and you're setting up, I assume, what are a match for the next contenders between Briggs and... I like Briggs sort of being like really straightforward and like, no, we're next. We're calling our shot now. If you don't like it, too bad. Do something about it. So, decent little segment. We get a Vakir and Julia hype video. Should be a great match. I think that main event's probably, right?
I mean, either that or Femi Moose.
Femi Moose? Yeah, both are big matches.
I'm surprised it's not PLE because there's so many like big matches, but it's just the...
It's like a special episode?
It's just TV, yeah.
Yeah. Jordan Grace defeats Cora Jade because Jade can't continue. I don't know what happened because the injury happened during a commercial break that was one of the 47 minutes that was cut off of this one. Masha Slamovich is there at ringside to watch because I think she and Jade have a program going. I believe that's the case. Grace dominates. Jade uses a hair pull. Back from commercial, Jade's being checked on by medical staff. Leaves. Grace wins by stoppage. Don't know what happened, but this match was essentially nothing.
And a lot of people, myself included, thought Jade re-injured herself.
It would seem so, right? Like if it's bad enough, because it did not feel like that's what was supposed to happen.
No. Okay, and apparently she's fine though. So
okay, good. I mean, I don't like her, but I don't need her to be injured either. Ethan Page, Javon Evans sit down in different locations, so like split screen kind of thing. And I like Page's honesty. He's just like, I didn't appreciate a 20-year-old giving me a pep talk, right? Evans' words made Page realize that Page had gone soft, and then he snapped out of jealousy, and now he's more dangerous than he's ever been. Evans says no one's going to hold him down or take his joy or his smile anymore, and then they just sort of talk over each other to end it. Really brief, solid explanation from Page as to why and I think he gave him something about advice on being married or something, and he's kind of like, you're 20, what do you know, kind of thing. So that makes sense from a heel perspective. Cale Dixon makes, I don't know if that's his debut. Have I seen him before? I don't think so.
Yeah, he's been on Level Up a bunch.
Well, I haven't seen that.
Last year on Raw, Breaker squashed him.
Oh, he did?
Or on SmackDown. Yeah, he's been squashed by Trick and Breaker now.
Well, Trick shot, mounted punches, Dixon's knocked out. So we get another ref stoppage, this one planned. Trick calls out Eddie Thorpe. Eddie responds from the safety of the balcony. Trick is struggling with not being the man anymore, but it should be Eddie who's the man, and he wants, guess what kind of match? Underground match. Trick agrees to it. So another short interaction just to get the stipulation added. Does Eddie Thorpe win? Again.
No.
Isn't it his match, though?
So is a strap match.
I guess.
So
he has all these matches.
Like,
he's the guy of gimmick matches.
Yeah. He's not winning 2 matches on Trick, though. There's no way.
Probably not. Roxanne Perez has taken Jordan Grace out backstage with a chair. Officials get involved, send Perez away. Ricky Saints and Ridge Holland interact backstage. And then as Saints walks away from him, he kind of runs into Spears. And right at that moment, I write, make Spears feel like a transitional champion to get it. And that's not without even knowing the winner of the match.
I mean, I feel like there's not much chance they don't try to fast track something for Ricky.
Oh, 100%. So the main event is Spears. He does end up defeating Tony D'Angelo for the North American Championship. We had Lillian Garcia doing the ring announcing, I noticed. When Spears was in control, the action is really slow and mostly basic. We get stomps and a camel clutch. Tony then fires up, pace picks up. He's doing all of his suplexes and a spear. So many people at ringside. Eventually, they start to brawl. Stacks gets shoved into Tony, who falls to the floor. I imagine that may be something furthering there, right? It's been Stacks kind of in charge, not doing anything.
And like Belair, he'll be free of the title now. So
that's exactly
the title, but choose free of the tag titles.
So back in the ring off of that, and a spear C4. Tony kicks out. Tony's back gives out on forget about it, and Spears just simply holds him down and picks up the win after 12 and a half minutes.
I saw the finish. Yeah, I thought that was a weird choice.
A pretty basic match. It was just okay. And I don't think Spears is holding this title long. It's sort of like, you've had a nice career. You're here now as almost like a trainer. Good for you. Here's a quick title run. Yeah. You're going to lose to Saints in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know what Tony D. I keep saying, I think this is it. And Tony D goes up, but he never does, right? So
I don't know if you can.
I don't know. But it was a really fast episode of NXT. I will say that. All right. Last thing we need to do, correct, is we are going to quickly talk about our predictions for Sundays. Pete, we thought it was Saturday, but it's a Sunday.
Think that, yeah.
But I don't have to work Monday, so I'm okay with it. We're going to talk about some AEW Revolution. I have not prepared much for this, but I don't know if you have either. So how many matches altogether?
Uno, dos, tres,
7,
cuatro,
8,
cinco, 7, ocho, nueve,
9,
10.
10. Okay, let's talk about it.
Are we doing the thing?
Oh, right. We were going to introduce a new thing where we...
I don't know how you're working it, so I left that spot blank so I'll put my thing in as I go.
I got to do that too. So what we're going to do is we're going to call it... we're lifting a gimmick from somewhere else. So we're going to call it our certainty score. And what that means is, so for example, this has 10 matches, so that'll be nice and clean. We'll predict the winner for each match and then assign up to, so you can give one match 10 certainty score, 9,
okay,
8, 7. So the one you're least certain about, you'd give 1. The one you're most certain about would be 10.
So I need to think about that for a second because...
Oh, I'm going to do mine on the fly because I'm just built different, you know?
Okay, I'll do that then, I guess.
I just have to make note of what numbers I've already given it.
I'll just have to
I need to look at the card too, for sure. All right, so let's, I don't know, do it in whatever order you like. It doesn't really matter to me.
So Okada, Brody King. It's a late edition, but a welcome one. I just don't think, Matthews never stood a chance, and I don't think King has much of a chance either.
Right.
So I'm going to say Okada wins.
Okada wins, and what's your certainty score?
I'm going to give it, like, okay.
Because you got to decide, are there ones you're more sure about than that?
Yeah, so I'm going to give it an 8.
I think that's pretty fair. I'm going to give
there
it...
There are 2 matches I'm definitely more sure of. Actually,
I will...
I'm going to give it a 7.
Okay. I'm going to take... Oof, that's a good one. I will take the same as you, and I will give it a certainty score of... I will take it as an 8 for that one. So I don't have 8 left.
All right. I just don't have 7. Okay. Then we have Mercedes Moné versus Momo Watanabe.
That's one of the ones.
It's been a minimal build. It's Moné. I'm giving this one a 9.
I'm taking Moné for 9 as well. Very confident in that one. So we already have a different score, and then we'll really have to make the effort to go back and like actually see what happens.
Okay, so then Swerve Ricochet. So for me, like, I feel like it would be a little more difficult to call without the title shot, given the alignment of the champion. That can be an indicator. However, I feel like I'd pick this the same without a title shot on the line, so ultimately it doesn't matter. I feel like the story being told with not on the rope, Swerve needs to get his win back. It also gets him in the main event scene. Ricochet, like I said, can cost him the title shot later on, set up a rubber match. So I think Swerve wins. But I think there's a chance Ricochet wins. So I'm pretty certain on this. So I'm gonna give.
I have a thought in mind.
I'm gonna give it, cause what? So hold on, I've taken up 7 and 9. So I've
taken 8 and 9.
I'm gonna give it 6 because I'm pretty certain on it, but there's ones I'm more certain on.
I agree. So I'm gonna take also Swerve. I just think it's setting up that way as well for the reasons you stated. How certain am I? I think I'm more certain in that one. I think that's my 10. I'm more certain in that one, which would be my 7. I have to say 6 as well. I don't mean to copy you.
All right.
But I think I know what your 10's going to be, and so do I.
It's a good way to trial run it because it's like... Sorry, I didn't mean to say run. Did I not write that match? Oh, I did. Okay, never mind. It's there. Then we got Tony Storm versus Mariah May in the Falls Anywhere Hollywood ending match. It's tough to pick because I feel like there's not 0 chance the title changes back here. And it's no secret I would love nothing more. But I also feel like switching the title back would render Storm's run moot. Kind of like how Breaker and Jay traded the IC title.
Yes.
I really hope May pulls out the win. I don't care if I'm wrong, but I think Storm wins. Okay, and so I have 6, 9, and 7. Right?
I'm taking Storm with
I feel like it has to be 5, right? Like, for me, I think,
yeah.
I'm going with a 5 then.
So it's the 4th match we're predicting?
I think so.
I also have Storm and a 5 as well.
Okay. We're so interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then Outrunners versus Hurt Syndicate.
10.
It's Hurt Syndicate at
Hurt
10.
Syndicate 10.
Yeah,
they're not losing at this point, and they're sure not losing to Outrunners. That would be crazy. I'll be furious.
Yeah, because I can't be hypocritical and say, oh, that's great when it's when there's Tony Storm over there.
So I have 1 to 4 left for my ratings.
I have
a 7 still.
I have 1 to 4, and I think I have 8.
Okay, I forgot I have a 7.
Okay. Then I got MJF Hangman.
Ooh,
definitely in my top 3 most anticipated matches. I think it's a one-on-one match we haven't seen since 2019, so that's crazy.
Right.
Far and away the best built match on the card. Maybe only rivaled by Fletcher Ospreay, but they already had 2 matches. They've had more time to build. I think based on building to this show, this one's by far the best built. Mm-hmm. With his rebirth as a babyface, I don't think Hangman can lose, and he has to get reestablished. I think there's a chance MJF wins. However, I think it's more likely it's Hangman, and if he comes out to his old theme, he's guaranteed to win. So I'm gonna give this one a 4.
I'm going to Hangman 4 as well. I gotta think about what my 7 I'm saving for.
I know what my 8 is.
Okay, it'll probably be my 7.
Okay, so it's a match very close to my most anticipated. Omega Takeshita for the national title. Because I remember being so excited for the first match, and that was such a great match.
It's going to be awesome.
And I was thrilled Takeshita won that. I've heard speculation they could merge the international and continental titles, and it could come
I'd be
in the
fine
form
with that.
of Omega and Okada All In. I see the title merger being possible, but I think their match is above the titles.
Maybe.
I don't think Omega needs this belt. I think Takesha's been killing it. And I refuse to bet against Takeshita because that's not how TOE works. So I am going to pick him. I'm going to give this a certainty score of 2, though, because I do think there's a chance Omega wins, but I feel like it makes more sense for Takeshita to win. Like, I really don't see what Omega gains from winning this, right? Like, it's not a belt he needs.
It's not, but I'm going to take Omega.
I feel like it could happen, but I refuse
and
to.
I'm going to go with a 2. I'm not very certain, but I don't know. I'm not sure they think this Takeshita run is as great as we do.
I think there's still, but that's what I'm saying. I think there's still more gas in the tank.
There is, but I know they like Omega with gold, and I
just don't know what you do with Takeshita.
I don't know how far back in the line for bigger gold Omega is. I don't know. I'm not, again, not certain. Only a 2-pointer.
I think he could just take Okada's belt at All In. I don't think he needs this belt. And
Fair.
The unification, like, well, it's nice. Like, I don't think it's entirely necessary.
It's not, but let's get rid of some belts. I
think we're fine.
We got too many.
Garcia's belt.
That should be gone already, but.
And then, so we got Fletcher and Ospreay in the steel cage. By far my most hyped match.
Mm-hmm.
The first match was practically perfect in build and execution. That was my match of the year. I love that match.
I have 1-3-7
They continued the quality at World's End, and the Aussie tag was great. This has been a top tier feud. I think these guys have such great chemistry. I could see it going either way, but I think the right decision is Fletcher going over again. He had a star-making turn at Full Gear with that win, but I think they need to double down and cement him as a major player. Ospreay losing again will not affect him in the long run. Meanwhile, Fletcher will be all the better for it. As for the score, so I only have 2 matches left. Am I missing a number? Because I think I should have 1 and 8, right? But I don't think I did. I gave a 3 yet. Did we mess up the matches?
I have 1, 3, and 7 left. So
Are
3
you sure
matches.
Oh, so Continental, TBS, Swerve, Women's World Title, Hurt Syndicate, Hangman, Takeshita, Fletcher.
There's a 0-hour match on here.
Yeah, but I didn't take that.
So then there's only 9 matches.
Okay, so then I need to adjust accordingly. So then that means I'll have to make what? Hurt Syndicate's a 9 then if we're only doing 9 matches.
Oh God, now we got to bump everything around.
That's fine. Then instead of what was the 7, that would be a.
So what do I have left then? 1 and
2.
7?
I guess if that's what you want.
Okay.
Actually,
that's fair. I'm okay with that.
Hold on. I'm gonna switch mine a bit then, just because. So I'm bumping the Continental to a 6. I guess then does that make? Where's my 6? So then Swerve Ricochet's a 5.
This is going well.
This is why we're trial running it now. It's fine.
We will perfect it, people.
Then we got a 4 for the women's title match. Okay.
Just fix mine along the way.
So now I have and then I guess I will make that one a 1. And then okay.
You've lost me.
No, I'm lost now. So Omega and on Takeshita I'm at least certain, so I will keep that at a 1. Oh, and now I have 2 different ones at a 4. That's
oh my God.
the difference. Okay. I'll put Hangman MJF at a 2, and then it's fine, because I think I should have 3 and 8 left. Okay? I think I got it, all right?
So what do I have left? I have 1, 3, and 7, but I don't really. So just 1 and 3?
I think so, yeah. Okay, well, you don't have a 7 on here, so I guess...
I know, but wouldn't my 8 get bumped down to 7 and my 10 down to 9 and my 9 down to 8?
I guess. Hold on. This is... Oh, my God.
This is chaos.
This is chaos. Okay, wait. Yeah, okay, so now
So my Hurt Syndicate is 9.
Okay, so you have... I think you have 3 and 1, right? No. Yes?
3 and 1?
No. I'm like,
yes, 3 and 1.
3 and 1. Yes. Okay.
Okay. Fine.
Okay. We got it. So
fine.
I'm just gonna comprehensive quick recap. So for Okada and Brody, I have 6 for Okada. You have 7 for Okada. Okay.
Yep.
For Mercedes and Wanabe, we both take Monet. 9 for me, 8 for you. Right?
Fine.
We both take Swerve. I'm at 5. You're at 6.
Okay.
We both take Storm. I'm at 4. You're at 5.
Okay, sure.
I think that works. Yeah, I'm okay with that. We both took 9 for Hurt Syndicate.
Yep.
Right. Hangman, I'm at 2, and you're at 4. I feel like I should be more certain on these. It's really difficult to like. But I guess I'm more certain. No, it's fine because
it's fine.
You have to rank them at somewhere,
right?
Right. It's like a tier list. Omega, Takeshita, I'm at 1. You're at 2. Okay, and then we're at Fletcher Ospreay. I'm gonna put this one. This is my 3. Okay. We're there.
I'm taking Ospreay for 1. I think that Mark Davis is gonna help him and get him the win.
Okay. So we're there.
So
we got it.
Only main event now.
Yes, and I'm putting this out of my 8 because Moxley can't be losing.
I am taking Moxley, and then whatever my score that's left is only
7,
3.
Right?
Oh,
or
no.
Is it 3?
3.
Is it?
Which isn't what I planned, but it's fine.
Okay, yeah.
We'll figure it out.
You got to put it there somewhere.
We'll hammer it out for next time.
Yeah, next time.
I am more certain than that, but...
See, yeah, the next time... Well, now, because that's why I held off on mine, because I wasn't sure if there's, like... Because for me, in my mind, it was, like, for example, let's say each match is, like, you're rating Journey at 5 stars, which... it's not infinite, so...
Right.
But, like, that's what I think this honestly makes more sense. It's just because I didn't know what we were doing. So I was like, I wasn't sure. But now I think we'll have it more ironed out next time. For sure.
So basically, however many matches are, that's the maximum points.
Okay, that makes sense.
All right, so if you deciphered that, people.
Yeah, that's...
So quickly, for me, I'm going to run through it right now.
Sure.
And I don't care about the points, just who I think's winning, okay? At this point, points, you can go back and check people if you want to. Moxley, Tony Storm, Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, Mercedes Moné, Hurt Syndicate, Hangman, Swerve, Okada. That's it.
Okay.
That's what I got.
I think mine's just going in the order I have. I have Okada, Moné, Swerve, Tony, Hurt Syndicate, Hangman, Takeshita, Ospreay, or sorry, not Ospreay, Fletcher, and Moxley.
Slip. Freudian slip. Anyways, I think that's it. Yes?
Yeah. We got this.
I think there's a chance because it's A, we have a week off, and B, Revolution looks stacked, that we might talk about it before.
If we don't get the
So
worst
maybe
stuff
look
going.
for some bonus stuff, some worst stuff, some Revolution review.
I feel like we should at least be able to do one of the two.
I agree. And then we'll be back down here on Saturday for episode 243, everybody. We hope you have a great week. We're hoping we have a great week of no school, no work. We'll see you back here on Saturday for 243. Until then, take care.